Greetings, traveler. You've just landed on the Mikey Me Podcast. But fear not, for this is no mistake. No fault in the stars, no glitch in the matrix. No, I'm afraid this has all been planned, predetermined by powers known not to us. So pull up a chair and join us as you find a way together, for you are among friends.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
There we go.
We're off to a strong start.
We hit our first technical difficulty.
Speaking of a strong start, the Stars are off to a strong start tonight against the Avalanche. So far,
score?
both teams are hitless. There's no runs, and it's in the first quarter. Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Colorado's up 1-0.
No, it's 20-3.
20 left. There you go. I knew that by saying that, people are going to listen to this and be all of our listeners.
But
are gonna be like,
4-0.
it's a point.
Dude, that's
I love it when people get,
oh, dude, of course.
how many.
But that made me think
in baseball, somebody will like non-baseball people. I'll be watching or something. They'll be like, oh, how many points does this one team? How many points? It's like, that's a run. But I don't tell them, hey, it's a run.
Yeah,
We don't call it a point. It's not a point. But technically,
Unless they're trying
it's
to
a
way of
point.
keeping value.
Yeah, unless they're trying to pretend as though they know like what's going on, and then then they call
It's
it a
like-
point. It's like, oh, you don't actually.
It
know
serves
about
the
baseball.
same purpose
Yes, but
as a
if
point,
somebody-
but in the game of baseball,
Yeah, but
there
if
is no
somebody
such
is
thing as a
truly
point.
ignorant, if somebody is truly ignorant,
It's a
to,
good
like, the
analogy
rules
for
of the
points.
game,
Or
then
they're
it's
like-
like, I'm going to let that slide. Now,
Yeah.
if somebody's
like I'm
being
going into
a
first.
dick and,
Like I'm going into first. Am I
the
right?
Rangers
There you
scored
go.
14 points the other day, and
like,
they're third in the division, and so the blah blah blah. And it was like, wait, did you?
Okay,
just
here's
say
a
the
question:
Rangers scored
first
14
RBI
points the
or
other day?
RBIs?
Yeah, that's where I thought he was going with it. RBI or
Yeah.
RBIs or RBs I.
Well, technically, it's scored
R's,
in a game.
R's
It's
BI.
like, technically, it's an RB. How many RB like
No, but
hitting it? I know.
It's like ATM machine.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's at least. I
R's,
could be wrong, but like
B-
RBI,
R's, BI.
there's only like in the textbook definition of RBI is
Run brought in.
run singular, right?
Yes.
Run batted in.
Yes.
That's set, right?
Yeah.
So there's multiple of this
Yeah.
word that represents. So
That makes
RBIs,
sense.
I think, is
Yeah.
correct because it's runs batted in. That's saying that's what RBI stands for. But no, it's run batted in. So that's represents a single run. So I
Yeah.
think RBIs is the correct way.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. Like I've never really thought about it like that.
It's good.
but
It's
yeah,
good to
it's
have these talks.
like a singular,
Yeah, the word is defined as a
multiples
run.
of
We gave it this new word that
Multiples
happens to
of
be
the
something
singular.
awkward, but there's multiple of them.
7 RBI.
Yeah.
But it just sounds.
I think
just
that it's.
sounds
But it's
weird.
one. The thing is that it's like it's all meant in individually scoring a game. It's like, oh, he had a run batted in right there. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, we know
when
exactly
you
what they
tally up-
mean,
Yeah,
whether they
it's just
say
a-
one or the
yeah,
other.
it's
But
just a
one
splitting
should die,
hair.
and the
It's
other
like,
should be
that
remain
doesn't
allowed
sound
to
right.
continue living.
Yeah, that is true.
Like hippopotamus.
Hippopotami.
Hypothetical.
I hope the Stars can pull
Those
this
big,
off.
fun monster animals. All the stars, they're gonna pull it off.
The Stars need to pull this off,
They'll
but it
pull
does suck. I hate just
But-
because I got homies in
What do you think
Colorado.
the weather's like there, Mikey?
I got homies in Colorado. Oh, you want to know what the weather's like in Colorado?
Or just
I should
wherever
call
you
my
know.
buddy.
Actually,
In
no. I was
Colorado,
I should call
thinking.
one of the Colorado buddies.
You know, I was
right
thinking
now.
the weather anywhere would be good, but might as well be there.
It looks like
No,
it's
let me
cold.
see.
I mean, they are on ice.
No, to play on ice, so it's got to be pretty cold.
I have a friend of mine that used to call it Calderado.
It's not actually an outdoor stadium.
No,
it's-
dude,
it's
not
at
anymore.
Ball, it's at Ball. I
They
think.
just converted
the
it.
Ball Arena. Or
Dude, fast and
whatever
all.
it
I
is.
worked there for
think
a
it is.
month.
60
in college.
degrees in Colorado Springs tonight. A high of 67, a low of 42. But we're looking for Denver.
Fort Collins. Maybe you should check out Fort
Foco.
Collins.
No, they're playing in Denver though,
No, yeah, they're
Where-
playing in Denver.
where you can be accosted by the homeless for minding your damn business.
least they're
65
not peeing on you.
degrees in Denver, Colorado, with a high of 71, a low of 42. So when you're leaving that game tonight, wear
Yeah. It's good.
a hoodie.
It's
good info. 2 days late.
Good
Yeah.
homeless weather out there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
watch yourself leaving the game in
kidding,
Denver.
man.
You know, I'm tempted. I don't. This might be too distracting. In this.
No,
what
leave
you're
that
coughing-
on. We're going to leave that
Leave it
on. But we have
It's
to
only
talk
the
about
first
it.
period.
I'm
It's
scared.
not distracting.
I'm scared. Maybe I'm
Don't
scared.
worry about it. You're scared.
Then
You're
where are we
overthinking
going? I don't
things.
know.
You're overthinking things and you're fidgeting.
So what do we have?
You're
pulled
making
up
noise.
here?
We don't need to.
We're gonna watch The Handmaid's Tale on Hulu.
No.
It's like,
Dude, I thought you'd never.
Dude, we're gonna
I
check out
didn't. I
this-
was afraid to tell you guys. Actually, I actually do. I watch it. Not,
Man.
not because I really want to,
just because I
but
like
because
Heinz ketchup bottles.
I started at the beginning, and the production and value and shit is enough to where I don't know.
You're being
it's one of the
serious.
shows. I'm being dead serious.
Oh.
Like I'll just watch it. I just watch it to see the production and the story, but I do want to make fun of it a lot. Not for the reasons you guys do, but just literally the way some
what
of
do you
it's
mean? What do you
directed
mean?
and just like some of just the. It's. We don't need to talk about this anymore. You shouldn't even brought that up.
I mean, it's on the fucking screen. I mean, the damn screen.
Oh, he's. We've got him in a kerfuffle. So here's the thing. Speaking of movies and stuff, I was gonna say, if you know, there's that new one that's out. They just came out a bunch. It's kind of it's cool because it's one of the kid from Stranger Things. Something about summer.
Yes, I
One
know.
Hell of a Summer or something.
Yeah, the kid
Midsummer's
family
Night
movie.
Dream.
Yeah,
The family movie. So like it's
It's
an
like
A24 movie, believe it or not.
Yes, and I
they
think
don't
it's. Yeah, they do not, and I think it's.
The funny thing is, actually, they have kind of recently.
Yeah.
They're trying to.
Or it's
well,
Hell
they're-
of a Summer.
No, they're intelligently trying to do a wider style. Like they want to be known for horror, but they want to make more money. So they had
Hell of
like
a
a
Summer.
comedy horror about that Death of a Unicorn that came out earlier this year. It was like a dark comedy. Paul Rudd's in it, and they like hit a unicorn like when he's driving around with his daughter or something. And they've done
almost
other
like
non-horror,
yeah,
but they're
like
trying to
Death to
be a
Smoochie
quirky
type.
indie type dark thing. And now this is a straight up family, but it's supposed to be good because your man Defoe is in it.
Well, this
Defoe?
is.
Yeah,
Wilhelm?
and William Defoe, he's not the main character. The little kid from Stranger Things is like one of the main ones, but William Defoe, I'm pretty sure plays.
William
that
Dafoe
part.
was the little kid from
I don't-
Stranger Things.
Well, the kid's in here. Finn Wolfhard or whatever is the
Yeah, that's the guy from Stranger Things. Yeah.
I don't see Willem Dafoe in here.
Oh
though, just
well,
in
then
the top
I read the
cast.
wrong article.
But this is
I read
Hell
the
of a
wrong
Summer
article.
horror comedy.
Yeah, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Okay. This is Hell of a Summer horror comedy. It's one that I think
That's
is,
current.
I think because it's funny. It says 2023, but like if you look it
Yeah.
up right here, it says release date 2025, April 4th.
That's kind of like
Like, look right here, 2023. But then, because I was trying to find it the other day, like a week or so ago, then April 5th or something.
That's kind of like the movie. Was it? It was a John Cusack.
It's Yorochi, like the one I think you're thinking of. It's literally called. And William Defoe is in it. Yeah.
There was a John Cusack movie back in like the mid
Solved.
2000s about like Iraq and all that. What was it? Was it War Inc. or something?
Yes, it came
Okay.
out around the same time as War Dogs. Not the same time, but there's something else that came out.
Well,
around
the
the
thing
time.
about it was that I may or may not have, through friends at the time, seen that movie like 2 years prior, where it was like it was almost like
like a
it had-
deja vu of movie.
Well, no, it was it was like it had been put out or something, but like maybe got pushed back.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Debbie one night in the kitchen about we were talking about stuff or whatever, talking about movies and talking about actors, and I brought up the movie War Inc. and I was like, yeah, it had John Cusack in it and this and that and blah blah blah, and I'm like explaining it to her, and then I really I think looked it up or whatever, and it like hadn't even come out yet, and so it was like we had like some our buddy the internet and them had gotten a rip of it like 2 years before.
I know
it, like,
Taken was
even
like
came
that.
out.
I know Taken was
And so that was the thing was like I distinctly remember like standing there telling her about it or whatever, explaining this movie, and she's like, "No, I've never even heard of that one." And
That's
then
a
we
good
pulled
story.
it up, or else it had just come out or hadn't even come out yet.
Speaking of movies,
We're on fire.
That could start a barn.
Oh yeah,
fire.
those.
speaking of movies,
I'm selling them. So if you,
Lanterns
I've
will
got
start
some
a barn
movies
fire.
right
you were
here.
selling them for $50 a pop, along with the free.
Are
mouse,
you?
You get a mouse pad for free for $5 more.
So we got a video right
$5
here.
more dollars.
Pantera,
Ooh,
Vulgar video.
vulgar
So-
video.
Don't.
funny.
I think Sheila was old enough, so I figured I'd show her this.
Do you
VHS.
Do you know how they got that photograph?
I can't
Oh
Funny
yeah,
story.
paid a homeless guy or something.
So yeah, they I don't know if it was just one homeless dude or if they like offered like a bunch of them, but it was like they were paying them like $20
Just to let them punch him?
to punch where it was like $20 per punch, and I'm not sure how many times they punched him before they got that shot, but to get the cover of the Vulgar Display of Power album
cool.
Here, go ahead, hold that up to the.
Mikey might
see,
be
like,
good.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yours is the one.
Well, it's closer for me.
Okay. Well, either way,
I don't know. Yeah, so that's good. That's good.
But yeah, no, they
Vulgar video.
to get that they paid like a homeless dude or a vagrant dude it was like 20.
Yeah, I mean it's an acting gig.
Yeah.
it's good work.
They were
Pantera
trendsetters.
Cowboys
It
from
was
Hell. We've got another one here.
fights.
That's the album. I mean, actually, the first few are all solid, but I definitely listen to-
Chains. Dude, how much have you checked the prices on these?
I mean, I haven't yet, but I'm literally
Those are
I'm going to
all
be selling
legit.
those.
Are you
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, look, Stephanie had somebody
yeah,
that a lovely old
And they were
person
theirs?
that passed a while ago, and these are stuff she's had.
Oh, that yeah.
Shelly, she's like, and she just let her have them, and there's some crazy like
Dude,
local
that's-
Dallas like rock concert live footage and some stuff.
That's pretty sick, dude.
It is very
Yeah,
cool.
those are-
So
That's pretty neat.
I think they're worth
So holler at your boy.
hearts. Yeah, dude.
So speaking of typically one of the mainstays here at the Mikey and Me podcast has been movies.
Yes, and for me, it's a film class. For Mikey, it's the movies.
Well, okay. You know
am
what?
more
It's a
of the
film
Borat
class for
school
me
of thought where
No,
I
I-
like movie films
because I participate. I do participate.
No,
I watch
I
movies.
yes.
I will not be talked down to like this.
and I will not call it a film
It is a cinema.
unless
flick.
unless
A
it's
skin
Human
flick.
Centipede. What was it? Eastbound and Down, where he was
Oh,
like,
gosh.
"Oh, do you remember when we watched that film, Human Centipede?"
The use of the film
word
so
film.
strongly. That
It
film.
was like,
Yeah.
have you ever seen the film I Spy with Owen Wilson? And
So where are we at, Mikey? Where are we at with this?
I have
what year are we?
Two films from the year
film.
1958.
very nice.
1958 is the year.
I'll
The
tell you
most
what, man.
popular car was the
The
Corvette.
the Gorvet, the Shorvet, Gorbachev. It was
What year?
it was nice because I was able to. There weren't like a ton of blowing
the Stingrays. didn't come
ways
out
that
till
you
the
get
60s,
from
right?
it, but so I feel like the ones that are really good. I mean, obviously they just clearly stand out, but I think they are actually really, really. They stand out among years. It's
I
not
was
just
gonna say,
58
yeah, and I
these
was gonna-
movies stand out for.
I was gonna say that's the funny thing about going back in the years is you really do get like there's like maybe 3, 4, where it's like these are the bangers, these are the, and it's like,
Yes.
and the rest of it is just to figure it out. And there's still great movies in there.
Yes.
because a lot of the thing that's great about them, especially if you love films, if you're a film
And
guy,
for the casual moviegoer.
Same
And
movie,
for the
fam.
casual moviegoer.
Very nice.
if you're a film guy, a lot of it's cool because it's like, you know, the way they had the filming of the films was, you know, it was all done
Whole
like
different
with
world.
yeah, exactly. It was a whole different world
You
that they
think
were
of the
relying
cult,
on
it's
stuff.
It's a good exercise. I'm glad we're doing it.
So the two movies I had really, and one of them is
One-
really one of the only movies from the year. You know, not one of.
it's
But-
it's the one the year's known for.
Before we get to that one, the one
the back
before
pocket.
that, and it's funny. A couple of his I've said because he's gone through the years where he's had a few, and he's always playing a vampire with vampires.
It's like he's walking around telling everybody we're fucking
With vampires, the devils suck. It's like
devils. We are a vampire.
Horror of Dracula, Christopher Lee. He's been in a
What
handful
year?
of these.
That was
1958.
So that would
The 5'8", the 5'8".
It's like 13 years after World War
Look how
II.
young you look.
When he was, yeah, no, that's like he's fresh out of like, yeah, that's like,
Christopher
not
Lee
for-
killed a person, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So which one?
No, he
It's
did,
called
because
Horror
that
of
was the
Dracula. Horror of
stories of-
Dracula.
Horror of Dracula, yes.
Because who was it he played in Lord of the Rings?
Sauron.
Sauron. Yeah, 'cause that was well, that
Sauron.
was part of the. He had a conversation with the director about like, because the director was telling him like, what
react.
he wanted. Yeah, on the reaction when he got stabbed.
Yeah.
and Christopher Lee like ended up telling him that it's like, yeah, but that's not how people react when they get stabbed.
Oh,
Because in
And-
the kidney or the
Yeah,
back,
They
he was-
won-
when they
was
get stabbed in the
because
back.
he was actually
Yeah.
like he served in World War II, like he knew the reaction.
but did
So
they
it was like,
want him to do the animated their version, or did they want?
Yes.
Well, I
because
think-
they weren't
and
caring
he's-
about
and he-
being
well,
realistic.
well, no,
I
but
guess.
he changed it.
they
changed
ended up
That's cool.
because of the realism aspect, where it was like they were going
That's
for
cool.
what they
Which
thought.
movie was it?
It was Lord of the Rings. When Christopher Lee is killed or whatever.
It's crazy that they were that far along and didn't have.
And well, yeah,
And
but
then-
they, it's like, oh, give me
It's a
more,
small
like,
detail.
give me more, and it's like,
Huh.
you can't, your body goes into shock when that happens.
Yeah, he
It's
was like
you
the
can't
air goes
scream.
out of you. You go.
Yeah,
So it's
like,
basically
there's
he's been
He's
stabbed.
killed people.
yeah, but he's been through
was-
some
he
been through
was-
some
yeah,
stuff.
he was. I'm pretty sure he was a British commando, so it might have.
And that's who Arnold's playing in the movie, right?
That might have been
Yeah.
pre-SAS or whatever.
Yeah, it has to be.
But either
Roll that
way.
beautiful bean footage.
This is the story of Dracula, a creature who destroys all whom he touches.
We've definitely watched one of his trailers already.
Who sleeps
Yeah.
in the tombs of the dead by day and arises at night to inflict
He's a
his
pimp.
terror
He's
upon
got a
the
white
innocent
tomb.
and the unsuspecting.
You must help me. You must.
Yeah, maybe
My
later.
only hope, you must.
Is that Mama Dearest?
So Nosferatu that you just saw is supposed to be a spot remake of this, right?
Oh, dude. Let's not go disrespecting old Dracula and Nosferatu movies.
No, I'm connecting the worlds.
Nosferatu. Dude, this is a great trailer.
It's actually, this is actually, I really like
This
this
is not
trailer.
Lucy, the sister you loved. It's only a shell, possessed and corrupted by the evil of Dracula.
How do you destroy a fiend who has so far proven himself indestructible?
With
Those
kindness.
who come to
Crackheads
end
are
his
hard
reign
to
of
kill.
terror stay
Hard as
become
hell to
his
knock
victims.
out.
Castle Dracula is somewhere here in Klausenberg. Will you tell me how I get there?
You ordered a meal, sir. As an innkeeper, it's my duty to serve you. When you've eaten, I ask you to go and leave us in peace.
This is the doctor who
That's
dares
a-
to challenge the
Pizza
Not the most
Kush.
interesting line of dialogue that
This
they
is
could have
the
put there, but that's
anguished
cool.
man Who fears for the lives of his beloved.
Well, because you
The
can't
girl
invite
who
a
is his
vampire.
sister.
Yeah.
And the one that is his wife.
The one that got away, but it didn't.
Dracula, the bedeviled master of all that is evil.
How do you go
Dude,
about-
the dripping blood on the title thing, that was cool. Dude, that's a badass graphic. The Dracula the way it superimposed on there.
Technicolor.
This is a great trailer. This is a great trailer.
how do you politely go about telling a vampire he can't fucking stay there?
You stink?
Well, no, that's exactly
Yeah.
what he was like doing. Where he was like,
Yeah.
like hypothetically, if you were to put yourself in a situation where it was like, okay, I know this is a vampire. and
Yeah.
I know they have to be invited in. He was like, okay, look, with all due respect, you can't fucking stay here tonight. I'm gonna need you to go.
But I've
I'm
been
not-
invited in. You've invited me
No,
in.
my name is on the lease.
But I've been
they are not.
invited.
that-
Made a spiritual contract with Nosferatu.
So is this one you just knew about, or did you actually watch it in the week?
I watched it.
No, it's cool if you. No, it's cool if you didn't. I was just.
I did.
I'm just asking because
I
there's
came
sometimes
home
there's
from
movies
work,
I
those.
didn't get to watch in a week, but I definitely have seen and wanted to talk.
Yeah. The next movie and the only movie in my last movie, very next movie, it's a great movie. Everybody knows about it. Alfred Hitchcock kind of guy, kind of movie. Vertigo. It's a movie that gets you really dizzy.
Yeah, no.
You're gonna
this is
want to
a
sit down to watch it.
and this is a movie that definitely is influential and inspirational, and a lot of people like for so many other films that people love. Like even some people, they definitely connected to David Lynch and like to Mulholland Drive.
It
To
has to be. David Lynch
Yeah, no,
has
there's
to
but-
have, like,
this movie is like
been a fan. Oh, dude.
it's like probably always top 5 for considered one of the best films of all time. It's pretty close up there. Like.
It's really good, dude.
And it was one
58?
of those that wasn't, it didn't do well when it came out. Like almost so many freaking. I was always curious, like what movies are coming out now that aren't being received well. But-
Joker.
exactly. No, the second one. Everyone's gonna go back and laud it.
Bro,
Watch.
I was
Watch.
actually watching Tim Dillon today, and he was.
Everyone's go back and
act
act-
part in that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Give it a few
Yeah.
years, dude.
Yeah, he was like, yeah,
Give it
this
a few
piece of
years,
crap. He was
guys.
like, oh, you know what everybody wants to see the Joker doing? Singing musicals.
Dude. We don't need to talk about that deep. But just give it a few years. Watch.
Vertigo, a feeling of dizziness, a swimming in the head. Figuratively, a state in which all things seem to be engulfed in a whirlpool of terror, as created by Alfred Hitchcock in the story that gives new meaning to the word suspense.
An obsession, really.
Is that Rodney Dangerfield?
yeah. Rodney
James
Dangerfield for his
Stewart.
greatness.
There's so many side benches.
Jim Stewart always gets featured with Bridges, though. Am I right?
Is that the moon you want?
A beautiful girl haunted by the desperate, unexplainable urge to destroy herself. A man possessed
That sounds like every woman I've ever met.
of high places.
Man.
Joking.
Where's the cinch? I look up. I look down.
Look up or look.
I wrote a poem.
What was the strange attraction that brought these two together, in spite of
The breasts,
I think it was, the blonde hair, the blue eyes, the...
the exposed
shit,
bodily
yeah.
parts.
Hey, they didn't have a microfiber cloth for that lens.
Alfred Hitchcock, I think he always went for that smudged lens style. You know, he's a director that makes sure he's in all of his movies. Honestly, I think it's like one of the people probably M. Night Shyamalan probably does it because he did it.
Probably.
I think he was the guy walking across the street like early on. It was-
If I do what you tell me,
I wonder if this lines up with the Lucky Strikes thing because she's wearing a green dress.
then I'll do it. I don't care anymore.
Probably does, dude.
Oh, the branding.
Yeah, how they were trying to make green popular. It was always seen as ugly.
Well, I think it was unlucky, too.
Yeah.
Because that's why I said it's like motorcycles. Like, it's bad luck to paint them green.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. I don't remember what it was we were talking about, but I remember you saying that. Yeah, dude.
That was in the 30s and 40s. They did that whole campaign. But that was it. That's my movies.
Yeah.
You know, it's
and
funny,
that would obviously be one of mine. So
Yeah,
it's not-
absolutely.
y'all talking about like going back, the further you go back and stuff like that, it's like the more scarce the movies get or whatever. Which
Yeah.
like obviously because I feel, and this is just something that I thought of as you were saying that, but it was like obviously, you know, because it wasn't as big of an industry as it is now. But I think too that like generally when you're sitting there talking about what were the best movies of 1958, it was like people did their fucking jobs back then. And so you've got like the film critics and the awards and all that stuff where it was like if you won an award, if your shit was critically acclaimed, if this
Yeah.
was like, you know, if
They lined up.
then this stood the test of time
Yeah.
because all of the people that knew what was up agreed. And then as time
exactly.
went on and you begin to water down the, you know, the standards or the, you know,
there's just a large,
oversaturation of
yeah,
everything.
the number of
And
films
so
we
the consensus is
large
not as-
exponentially. It's
but I feel like once you stray outside of like the further you go back into these years, once you stray outside of like the general, like the
there's not many like
AFI,
hidden gems.
Yeah, you're
They're
gonna
like,
go outside the AFI, and it's like unless it's just
Yeah.
like your genre of movie. I
Yeah,
love
you're-
cheesy sci-fi. It's like
No, and that's
yeah,
why I'm
they're
gonna bring
pretty
this up
much
because
right.
this is a movie on Thursday. Whenever my dad came over, I'm gonna start probably trying to do this. I'm like 1958. I'm gonna find an old sci-fi movie from that year and watch it. The Blob is one that he'd seen. I'd seen
Yeah.
the classic Blob.
Everybody's seen The
That's like
Blob.
that and the original Fly. Those are like the two stand. Those are the two.
Fly was this year?
The original Fly.
Are you shitting me?
It was this year. I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah, that's.
I could be
our
wrong.
Dad,
I could be wrong.
Dude.
Our dad has always talked about.
No, yeah,
how that's
look.
the scariest movie
What?
ever.
The original.
You have to play it. I
heck
fucked
yeah,
up
dude.
so bad.
No,
So, yeah.
I fucked that up, yeah.
My dad literally
Oh,
told
yeah,
me as a
dude.
kid, he was like, "This is the scariest movie you ever seen in your life," and I was like, "What? Help me!" I was like, "What are you talking about?"
No, I'm glad
And he
you
made
know.
me-
Yeah,
and I
this and the
literally-
Blob, but yeah,
I went into it thinking that like this was legitimately going to be the scariest movie I would ever seen in my life.
Shout out, Bob. You know
we
why
got
it
to
was the
think what like
scariest-
actual
you know
interesting
why it
horror
was-
films are for that time.
Do you know
this
why
is
it
the
was the
actual
scariest movie
interesting
ever?
horror film for that time?
Do you know why?
Because the spiders they
5.
bite you.
Yeah.
That was the time you saw it. Well, I had to be about 67 years
Well-
old, so you're 5.
Well, it came out in '58. He was born in '53. That's why
It's like,
this was the scariest.
Do you
movie
think
ever.
you would still feel the same way about it if you watched it now? Which opinion is the most valid? And that's the philosophical question.
No, he was laughing the whole time because I was
yeah.
like, "Are you serious?" And he's just sitting there laughing, like.
No, but that is an interesting philosophical question. I feel like you experience something the first time. Obviously, if you're younger,
almost like
it's
we
gonna have a
talked
bigger
about it.
impact.
It's almost
How
like
you
we
felt
talked
about it
about it
then is a
last week
valid,
with
real
Halloween.
feeling, right? But I'm saying that's a valid. And as you get older, you might look back and be like, "Oh, it's stupid for any number of reasons." But you felt equally. You might have felt stronger about how good it was when you're younger.
Well, we
So on your
literally-
deathbed, I don't think the time should matter when you said something. If you love it, even if you were in the KKK and you like bad stuff, you shouldn't, and you love it more. That's your bad. You're terrible for that.
What?
What happened to the trailer?
The fuck? What?
Talking about supporting David Duke or something, I think.
It's a wild trailer. It's
Red Band.
That was interesting.
that really was interesting.
It literally showed nothing but just flies and dialogue. It just had dialogue.
Yeah,
It showed, like, a
actually,
trace of a fly.
I need to go back and watch it later because I felt like I didn't realize it would be something so intentionally interesting. That trailer.
No, well, you fucked up.
Yeah, well,
Well, we were sitting here. You were talking about.
yeah, that was
Kanye
interesting,
West.
but it wasn't that
Yeah.
interesting.
You were talking about
It's like-
Kanye's
it wasn't
newest
quite as
tweet.
It
interesting.
was like hanging out with your cousin when you were 14.
Oh man,
All right.
we don't need
Man,
So this is a movie.
devastating.
It's really nice to. This is a B. This is a B. This is a very B movie. There's
Hard
some,
B.
Hard B
Hard
for
B.
1958. Hard B. But the funny thing is, this was still a movie I came across because people will cite it as a potential
Yeah.
You can easily is an influence for like
This
the
is
original
probably-
Alien. Like there's things that happens here that happened in this original
Rob
Alien.
Zombie probably loves this movie.
But one thing crazy, like there had to be the first movie that dealt with an alien stowed away. Dude, they have
Their outfits.
women's dude, yeah,
Just the blank battle belts.
and they have pistols, dude. Dude, there's a scene in here where
Oh, you're
they're-
dead, dude. You're,
Dude,
oh
no,
shit!
no.
Never mind.
Drop shot.
Actually, this is probably the crazy tech scene. Like, oh my gosh, they're walking sideways, and it's like this. The camera's
Oh,
like,
homie just bent that, bro.
he's getting the shotgun in my hair, dude.
Wood, though. It would have
Ignore
Stock
that.
would've broke.
Ignore that.
that was a rubber gun.
Nah, dude, there's a part in here that's so funny.
That fool's hell.
I feel like I need to pull this scene up. Okay, so they want to try and trap. It's on the spaceship with them. There's a scene where they want to try and trap it. They know it's in the ducts, right? So you know what their first idea was?
What was that?
To line all the doors with hand grenades to where if it comes through, it blows up while they're on the ship.
Oh, that's not a
Wait,
good idea.
this is a boat? Or
it's a spaceship.
They're on the spaceship, and that idea to
Yeah.
have if the alien tries to get out these doors, these hand grenades, a whole ring like 6 or 7 tied together for each door will be the way to take care of it
Well,
on the
that
spaceship
does
that
check
they're
out.
also on.
That takes
does
care
check
of you
out,
as
though.
well.
Well, because yeah, it's like if they
It
don't work,
eliminates that
we're all
pro-
if they don't work, we're all fucking dead anyway.
Is that the little Debbie character with a space helmet? Because that's pretty sick.
I don't think so, but that's an it's a good advertisement.
That's pretty cool.
What's on her head? A little dog.
HD retro. What?
Oh, it's a channel.
It's
It's
her
a
hair, and then that's just a.
look. I bet they got other retro trailers. Look, the original Dracula. You should spend some time. in.
Yeah, dude.
This next movie. Okay. Actually, no. I did watch the third. After I won't talk much about it, but the Charlton Heston flick came out this year. Touch of Evil.
Yep, that was probably my favorite.
Yep, Touch of Evil.
This was her wedding night. Where
Oh, this
the
was
man
really
she had
good.
married?
Movie.
Who were these hoodlums?
Hold her legs.
Orson Welles. Oh, so dumb. Directed it. But this is like
The original Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, this is like people definitely look back to this one for a lot, like
Janet Leigh.
like a masterpiece of sorts.
Orson Welles, co-starring Joseph Kalea, Akim Tamirov, with guest stars Marlene Dietrich, Zsa Zsa Gabor.
And it's cool. It's a story like there's a murder that happens on the border of like U.S. and Mexico, and dealing with like it is pretty interesting, like crime thriller
So gripping, so different
for its time, especially.
of love threatened by vengeance.
Mike may be spoiling some of your things.
And a dirty cop. It did like the whole like dirty cop thing. This was Orson Welles, or if he's dirty or not.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Grandy.
It's almost like
I
Get
may
the
be
Gringo.
scared, but he won't
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Of a struggle between titans.
Charlton Heston does play a Mexican guy.
Well, of course.
And they
Look at his
keep
mustache.
reminding you in the dialogue, I think, in case you forget,
I'm
though, it's
Mexican.
funny. There's things they mention about him being Mexican.
Damn, he manhandling the shit out that puppet, man.
Oh, yeah.
He using that man like he's a ventriloquist. Oh, that guy has shoulder pads on.
Oh, yeah. It was really, really good. I'm sure you'll
Get
be
outta
watching that
here.
tonight. I'm sure you'll be watching that tonight.
Oh yeah, me, yeah.
Okay, this movie here, I'm very happy because the Vertigo is like such like that at the end of the
Yeah.
year, but this is
58,
this is
59.
probably up there. But this is French movie that I came across just trying to find like great movies, and then like, well, what about the rest of the world, right? Elevator to the Gallows, and I'm gonna show some clips from this just because. It's worth showing some clips, but I'm going to play the trailer first here.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that when he made this, he was like 24, turning 25 during he directed this director. And Miles Davis did the soundtrack for it. Like he made it for it, like in like a day or two. And that probably with that album of his, Shade of Blue. What is it? His most popular album. Like he cites kind of his time making the soundtrack for this movie. That's kind of like helped get to that state. Noir, like if you're wondering noir, N-O-I-R, that word, like this is like a textbook example of
They
it.
talk about like film noir.
Yeah, like
noir, like fucking.
There's like a whole French New Wave movie, like this.
The video
Yeah, dude.
game L.A. Noir.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's this. Yeah.
A masterpiece of film noir.
I bet they call women broads in this.
In French, there might not be a direct translation, but like it's so amazing because they don't. The score is like one of the huge things about how amazing it is. It's not, they didn't have music that went along with the emotional state, heightened, like building up or thing. It was literally just jazz the whole time, which was like not anything that
Almost
anyone
looks
was
like
doing.
They ripped off the Vertigo font.
Yeah, well, I guess it's funny. It came out in the same year.
No,
but,
yeah,
dude,
that's what I was saying. It was like the font looked just like Vertigo.
but no, dude. So some interesting stuff about this one.
He was like, "Did you copy his homework?" He was like, "Yo, you can copy my shit, but change it a little bit."
Make it a little different.
Yeah, make it a little different. It's So it was the Kind of Blue is the album, the Miles Davis one. I was trying to look that up what it was. But yeah, Miles Davis recorded the whole thing with the entire score between about 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. on December 4th to 5th, 1957. And so it's like he flies to Paris to the soundtrack, and then it's a type of movie. It's because you don't even have any idea what it's about from that trailer. It's basically this guy who he was like a former military guy. He works for this like rich guy, basically some kind of like private military contractor type hitman thing. You don't even really know much. It starts off with him going to this guy's place and then
do a job.
Like he's the guy who was normally paid by this guy to do jobs, but he comes back and he has this with his boss, and the way it does the scene, like it's called Elevator to the Gallows because he committed some act and he's already left, and you see something hang out the window. He's like, oh, like that might tie me to it. So he goes back in there and he's getting on the elevator, and it was the time where they have elevators where they have an elevator man, and it's like after a certain point he turns off the elevators, so he's trapped in the elevators.
Do you know Dr. Seuss wrote a book about this called Cat in the Hat, where a small stain, a small little mess, and then you end up having to clean it up, and you do a little more to clean that up, and you make a bigger mess. It's like, it sounds like that's what Mr. Elevator Man got himself into.
Exactly.
He was trying to clean up a stain, and
it's one of those things where like it's like shows those movies where shows crime, like things don't go according to plan, and also other coincidences are happening to where he gets stuck in the elevator, left his car running. Some kids were out there. Some dude just decides that he's gonna steal his car with this girl going some crazy adventure. He has a gun in there, and so there's all this stuff going on at the same time. He's in the elevator and he gets out and comes out and like it's really freaking good. It
sounds like the 1990s country song "Third Rock from the Sun."
Yeah, and there's this.
Did you know that you were talking about Miles Davis? You know what he was once quoted said sometime? What he was quoted saying?
What's that?
He said, if somebody told me I had an hour to live, I'd spend it choking a white man.
Did you know he also was a huge,
and that's why I refused to listen to his music, right?
No, I've actually been a fan of his music.
He was like,
but I didn't know he said that, and I was kind of like, that's pretty fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Huh?
He must have been done wrong by a lot of white people.
No, well.
There was something I was reading the other day about like that, like he boxed or whatever, or that was something that like he had done. I think maybe even before he like got.
Respectez les guerres, Monsieur Carrala.
But all throughout.
Ce sont vos propriétés de famille.
Like even into like older age, it was like he would still like train.
Qui vous a tenu mon
I believe it.
All that like.
It almost sounded like the soundtrack, like a bow, but no, it was like. And just the way this scene is done here with like.
The fuck is that?
Like
just for its time, like the calculated, just cold, emotionless capturing of.
Oh, okay. No, I was trying to see where it ejects. It's like over there on the side.
Yeah, it's like a Mauser.
Yeah, I can see that. I was looking for the ejection port.
I'm just kind of showing this. This is kind of like a little sample of just a part of just how you get a better feel for just the movie and how it's executed. Like, there's so many movies where like a guy's like a professional who's done a job, and afterwards it's like this calm and meticulously paced, and he's just, and then something casually goes wrong. Yeah, so is that, and then another just like kind of a timeless scene, and that or just timeless bit really helps represent some of just the stylistic stuff that they did.
Plan for every eventuality.
Of her, just her like the woman is a woman just like wandering around the streets at night in Paris. See, this is from 18 to 22, so I think it was probably like. Just like there's these shots of her just like kind of wandering in her thoughts, like the kind of it does like you can hear her thoughts. It does the inner monologue, and there's just like her just walking the same, up and down or around the different parts, just thinking about him. But this whole like
Do you know they
image
say,
and style that's presenting here is like very influential.
they say there's a whole segment of the population that has no inner monologue.
Is that a true thing?
Yeah, that like people will admit to like.
And just the music's kind of chilling. But yeah, it's a really great movie. Is that for real? So Chris was saying that there's a number of population where literally they don't have an inner monologue whatsoever.
Yeah, they like
that sounds
they talk
great.
about it, and
Almost.
they talk about like
They're touched.
being able to
Actually,
no, but they're not. They're just like regular like people. That
Interesting.
like
it's an interesting.
no,
thing.
it makes a lot of things make a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, it
But,
really does.
But then too, it's like the same thing where it was like if I actually asked you to like picture something in your head,
yeah.
it was like, and it's like there are people that don't, where it's like,
Oh, they
so
can't do
wait,
that either.
So wait, when you close your eyes, you actually like see a picture of this in your head, and it's like, well, yeah, that's like what it in, and so yeah, I'm not sure what the what the segment of the population is.
That's interesting, but yeah, it is interesting because it is a subjective thing. It's like based on even their understanding of it. That's just all interesting.
But then the internal dialogue thing was like that was the one that like got me.
Yeah,
that it's like
I'd be curious to see exactly how they defined internal dialogue.
I don't know,
but
I'm
no,
my
that's pretty
favorite
interesting.
Person to talk to.
Yeah, dude. But so 1958, like there's not a ton, but I'll tell you between Vertigo and this, there's a lot of waves that resonated throughout movies.
Yeah, Vertigo's a long movie.
Yeah, dude, it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like Vertigo's a long movie, and movies
Pretty
like
much
this.
all movies back then were.
When I was
Not
going to
like
say,
that,
even
but
if they
a
weren't,
lot of them were like-
long, they still
had
felt
2
long
hours.
because of the way that they kind of the cadence of them. It's like they didn't, you felt like it was a long movie, even if it was an hour and a half.
I guess that is that
Yeah.
is true.
It's
That,
like all of it. It's a lot
were
of
able to
dialogue.
do a lot more in the. There was no wasted. There was no fat on those punches.
No.
Yeah, and obviously for in the time when they watched it, they had nothing to compare it to necessarily feel that way. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Did you even need to know?
That'd be crazy to get a time machine, kidnap somebody from back then, bring them here, just show them like a few movies that are mind blowing, and send them back. Just be like,
right,
and tell them these are movies, dude. And they'd be like, the future.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, or that's what like they talk about, like going back to was it like was it Galileo?
Back in time.
No, to taking them like advanced mathematics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like and not even giving them context, just like laying it out and like showing it to them so that they know that like this is the conclusion that can be reached. Like and
that's enough to would
or Da Vinci
jumpstart
like
things.
that.
Who knows how much?
Yeah.
Even further. Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't think those guys were really as smart as they claim to be.
Well, the thing is, I think we're claiming. I doubt they claimed it. Somebody
actually
created the narrative that for a lot of times after the.
I actually played Red Dead Redemption, and I watched a guy make.
Except Michelangelo, I bet he talks
flying
Michael.
machine one time.
That you had to help him get feathers.
I got him some feathers, and it did not work out.
No,
so,
he died. Yeah,
he
died. I did that too. And what's it called? Assassin's Creed.
No,
Yeah,
Red.
Isn't that funny how you do that in Assassin's Creed as well? You help a guy with a flying machine, and then in like Red Dead Revolver or Gun or one of those, you did the same thing.
Maybe some story writers worked for both projects, and that's his little mark, or else they're just lazy and these copy each other.
J.D. Vance killed the Pope.
Did you know that?
So, who broke this news story?
It's I just
It's
saw
like-
memes
I
about
know.
it. I just
That's
saw
what I'm
memes about
saying,
it, and then all of a sudden, it's like,
there's
next
no
thing I
loading.
know-
What's like
Oh, yeah.
briefly?
It's like, hold
Chris is
on,
like, no, Chris,
hold
it is
on,
a
wait
joke,
minute,
Matthew.
wait a minute. We're joking. We're joking.
it's like J.D. Vance.
I'm glad you
did it.
brought that up.
Yeah,
because I
it's
forgot
hilarious.
that.
The shit
That's
that
hilarious.
people are getting, like,
but
bent out of
forget
shape
that.
and,
the fact
like-
that he died the way he did is an interesting. Just
Is
it happened.
Is it?
Is
It
it?
isn't.
No,
Isn't.
it's
It
been in-
isn't. Isn't.
Old
It isn't,
people do
isn't.
that.
So yeah, it's the most. It is.
No, they were.
He wasn't. There's
apparently-
nothing. There's no like narrative that's more interesting. As
He had
to,
been in as far as I understand it, he had been in poor health for a while, or whatever, and
No.
they were saying that like the way that it's being framed, the people that are legitimately trying to say like what Mikey said, that J.D. Vance killed.
You know what I'm saying, dude, the Conclave movie came out that explains exactly the process that happens when the Pope gets killed and like the huge process. That movie Conclave it literally came out a few months ago. It's just really interesting that like that came out. It literally just tells the whole world, and it was like almost getting like best
Kinda
picture
like-
nominations. Exactly, this is the system that happens when a pope dies, and like the craziness about it. That's actually occurring now.
Kind of
That's
like, what's
wild.
it called?
So you should watch Conclave.
I mean, but that's happened like I feel like it didn't happen forever, and then it's happened like 14 fucking times in our lifetime. Like I feel like
Pope
John Paul,
there's gonna be a boost on Conclave, the streams and views and purchases. I'm not saying it's them. I'm just saying of course there
No,
would
I
be,
was-
but the timing is convenient. That's
No, yeah, it was just
they killed him for the movie, guys. Don't you get
It's
it?
like well, to me, it's like it makes me think of Utopia. You remember how Utopia, when it dropped in America,
Honestly,
the American version,
when the
when the American version dropped,
the timing that
when the American version dropped,
COVID,
exactly,
balls deep, like right at the beginning. There's a couple like that. There was like
they had to literally put a disclaimer on the very beginning of it saying that like this was written before COVID. It has nothing to do with COVID because of how. So it's kind of like that, what you're saying with this movie, the show about the Pope. It's like the Pope just dies, and now here's a show that's,
Well, the movie came out a few months before it happened. So
Yeah, and my only point was that like it wasn't like he was out like picking flowers. And
he wasn't partying
proselytizing-
anymore. His party days were
proselytizing
done.
people and like out like jumping up and kicking his heels up like the day before he fucking met JD Vance and then laid down and just fucking died. He had been in poor health is like the thing, and they're trying to say that it's like, oh, he was down bad, but he was starting to make a turn. Like he was going to be.
I'll tell you what, though, I kind of like
he was going to be good, and then JD Vance.
I kind of like the narrative that
and
JD
now he
Vance
died.
did do it
Well,
because
no,
that'd be
but
pretty
that's
badass. The vice president carrying out a hit like that. That'd be nuts.
Yeah,
but that's absurd. That's completely absurd.
but yeah, no, that's kind of like the where the people are saying that occurred.
They're that
is, like,
desperate.
that he was, he's been in poor health.
Yeah.
They were saying that. Like,
Yeah,
he's made
so
a
it was
turn for the
really
better,
it happened to be
and
the time he died.
Yeah.
He's an old guy.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's
what
really
they
not
do.
that interesting at all.
It's what they do. Old people die.
Some of them don't too. It's like, damn, when's that?
I was just quoting old school. at
old
Blue's
school.
funeral.
Yeah.
It was like, don't beat yourself up about it, man. Old people die. It's what they do.
That's very true.
We think you heard about Shadoe Sanders. That's the talk too about more shit that people shouldn't give a fuck about.
So
but they
explain
do.
because I didn't know who even this person was. So you guys came talking.
Shadoe Sanders is Deion Sanders' son, prime time baby, and he was the coach at Colorado State?
I think the Buffaloes.
and
Buffaloes.
And so it's like
going the way of
and I've got no hate. Look, here's the thing. I haven't even really watched the dude's career. I have nothing to comment on his athletic ability. I'm sure he can throw the football fine. I'm sure he's very good, right? Like, but it's funny just because people are freaking out because he got drafted late, right? It's not like he's still going to an NFL team.
Like what round did he go in?
Like the fifth round.
He was projected to be like
first, like one of the top 5 picks.
Deion actually threw some shade at somebody on
that DeVry
on
University
Twitter.
got him.
Well, somebody on Twitter said something at one point. I can't remember what it was they shit on him about, but Deion actually replied to like a dude that was a troll, and he was like, "Well, it was
That's
about
his son.
them retiring."
I respect that.
Well, no, I know, but it was about a tweet that didn't age well, and
that?
so
Okay. That's funny.
I think it was when they retired his number because they retired his jersey number at Colorado State,
Wow.
and I think it was somebody tweeting that like, "How you going to retire his number?" And Deion like replies to him that it's like, "My son gonna go in the top 5 of the NFL draft." Or whatever. What's your son gonna do? And he was like,
How long ago was that?
I got time today. LOL and like a bunch of laughing face.
Oh,
This
so
was
that
a
didn't
couple
age well,
months
yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
This was
Well, I mean,
just
that's
like-
just go one way or the other. It's good to believe in your son, but it's kind of like, that's gonna get called out quickly, and that's gonna be shat on.
Well, and the way I see it is that it's like you're not doing yourself,
It's Bronny
and
James.
the more you make a spectacle of your going into a different part of your career, the more of a spectacle you make of it, the less organizations are going to want to have to do with you, if especially if they feel like, and this is just something I feel like you have so much data to look at. It's not
so
personal.
People were projecting him, like actual, like static, like whatever the sports minds that talk about sports actually had him project that, or he just had that.
No, I don't. I'm not going to comment on that.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just saying that the overall hype, the reaction, regardless.
This is just speaking on the hype train.
Regardless of what the predetermined stuff.
Yeah, the hype train speaks enough on its own.
Regardless of that, I'm speaking on just everybody seems to be so like, I'm commenting on the fact that how everybody is just like up in arms that, oh, he didn't go till this round, he should have been this, and people there's sports analysts that are saying, there's people coming out and saying that like they believe this is the NFL ownership and stuff sending a message and making an example out of Shedeur Sanders because of the fact that he represents more or less, he's the next generation in this new generation of college athlete, because these dudes are now getting paid.
Because they know.
Yeah, these dudes are now getting paid. They have more of a say in what they can do and be like, no, this is how much
the money and resources. Even he probably did that himself in NIL money.
So it's like, who knows, right? So the point is that these guys are coming out of college with this mindset that
the
entitlement. I can pull all these I can pull all these strings, do what I want, whatever. And so it's like this one guy.
You got a 4-8 record.
This one guy was saying that he believes that this is more or less there. So that's why I'm bringing it up. I'm not saying. I see it as like the classic statement. It can be summed up as the classic statement: the nail that sticks out the furthest gets hammered. So if you're going to stick out, you're going to get hammered. And if you're out here making it a spectacle, talking about how you're going top one, you're going to be number one, all this and blah 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 blah. Teams don't like that. Teams want to see a team player.
But it speaks to the whole change in culture with the NIL itself. So what's interesting is like thinking on the big picture. Like the NIL is just, implemented a year or two ago, and that a team that potentially being the case has never had to they never had to put someone in this way. Because they're getting paid so much already.
I think too though, because I think Mama nailed it earlier too. Because I was talking to her about it. It came up. We were standing there, like, because she didn't really know about it either. I was kind of, filling her in on it. And I was just talking about, like, everything they had done, like, this and that. And she was like, so he was basically, like, acting like his dad. And I'm like, well, to a degree, but the difference is his dad could ball. His dad could ball in college. Like, in college, everybody knew Dion.
And his thing is, I think Dion did
that dude.
Dion did all that stuff on his own. That's the one thing. I do bet little Dion's probably has people that have been inflating him. Where Dion was so good, he didn't even need that.
Dion is one of my favorite NFL players of all time. Like, seriously. Dion's, when he came to the Cowboys.
Back in the days, we played game day and stuff. Always be cool to get Dion.
That was one of the happiest moments of my life when Dion came to the Cowboys. Yeah. But the thing about it was that it was like any hype that Dion had coming out of college was because Dion was that
deserved. Dude. Yeah, and it was deserved.
And his son, where it's like, okay, yeah, you're getting this off of like your dad's name and it's like you haven't done
the thing is that might actually end up being the best way, the way to get the most money he'll ever get, because maybe he just really shouldn't even be in the conversation. If he wasn't making noise, maybe he wouldn't even like be on anyone's radar.
See, but that's my thing. I think that like that to a point helps him, but then it hurts him. It helps you to a point to get your foot into those doors to just have that opportunity, like playing, like having his starting gig at Colorado and doing all that was his opportunity. Then from there, it should have been dialed back to where it's like now. But when you just kind of lay on it, I feel like it's just more. I think that too, when you're drafting him, you're also drafting Dion.
Yeah, you're drafting Dion.
You're drafting
the whole circus.
You're drafting all this random shit, all the unforeseen variables, and it's nothing personal. I don't feel like, and I just think that it's funny that Dion. I think it's funny the deal that people are making about it.
To the media 24/7. Yeah. If for whatever reason that it's like, oh, you got drafted to be the starting quarterback of such and such team. He was like, I just think it's funny that my son ain't the starting quarterback because, like, you seen the quarterback this week went out and threw 2 picks and this and that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's like,
He's going to be.
He'll be out there that's basically cheerleading for his son.
Like,
and
yeah.
be like, okay, do we don't need telling us how to coach our team? You know, it's like.
It's a little league dad on steroids. It's what
Exactly.
you're literally
But I guess
witnessing.
The
Mavericks lost.
At the end of the day, honestly, I just hope he at least gets the chance to let him literally be the determining factor of if it's worth it or not. You know what I mean?
I want him to succeed.
Think he will.
And I
you
think
know,
it's
so that's
good.
at the end of it all. It does make me more curious to see because
me-
that'd be cool
to
if he
me-
gets a chance to prove himself and he ends up doing it. And if not, then it'd be cool.
To me, it's like the way I look at it. It's like I'm pretty sure Brady went pretty far back in the draft.
Brady went in the 6th round.
6th round.
Yeah,
and Brady's one of the greatest quarterbacks
if you watch his
of all
combine
time.
footage, what he looked like, he just didn't
he
even look
ran
impressive
slow
or
as shit.
anything. Yeah,
No, and all I was gonna say is that it's like I think that people are just making a bigger. I think it's funny because of what of a big deal they're making.
Well,
it's like
the
he
amount of
still got
hype.
drafted.
Well, I think at the NFL
He
is
got
just happy
drafted.
because
And he
it's
wasn't-
more
he wasn't
just
Mr.
publicity for the
Irrelevant.
NFL and all of them.
was not.
Yeah.
He
The way
was
they
not
keep the
Mr.
season
Irrelevant.
interest going,
Like,
the time where they put the draft in the middle of in the summer, it's literally intelligent marketing. Like we want to keep the conversation going all year long.
Yeah, exactly.
it's like I think.
I mean, we're talking
want him-
about it.
I would like him to succeed. Like, and I think that it is one of those things where it's like based on the
We're talking
talent
about it,
that
and we
they
don't even
saw,
really care about
that,
football for the most part.
You know, it's
so
like,
it's doing its job.
There is potential there, but it's like, yeah, for like risk versus reward and stuff like that. It was like I think teams really saw that it's like, could you get us there? Yeah, maybe potentially. It was like if it was a sure shot that you were going to get us there. The Dallas Cowboys are a team that like
I'll tell you what, dude.
Greg Hardy, they'd be like
Just the name brand. I'm
you
just
beat Bronx,
America.
like,
Even
we'll
with the
take
fact that
you.
we're talking about this, none of us care about football. I'm just saying. I think someone's plan is going exactly what they want it to be. It's like literally, we just want them to be talking. We want people to know. I wouldn't know about him at all. So I'm just saying, like outside of even what actual teams are
I don't
doing,
think
there's an angle. I think it's good.
I think that it's a
And
positive
not for the teams,
byproduct.
not for a positive.
I don't think
byproduct.
that it's.
No
I don't
one-
think
yeah.
that it's the primary motive of the why. Like, let's wait for him to get drafted in the 6th because then people are going to talk about
It's
it
a-
more.
it's a positive byproduct.
It's just a positive. Like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
well, at least people are talking about this. People are
Yeah.
going to have something to say
I
on
guess
it.
the
But yeah,
easiest
either way,
way
I
to
think
say
it's
it would be
funny.
like-
I just think it's funny people make a deal. It's like, dude's still in the NFL.
Yeah.
The dude's still going to get
Yeah, he
paid.
can't
He's
suck.
still going to play. He's
then-
still going to have his opportunity to prove himself.
You don't need to
and
defend him.
I
it's
think
like
that
he's being-
teams probably
Yeah.
look at him that it's like, hey, you know, he's got the talent. We see something there, but he's a little too like up here right now. It was like you need to understand that there's things you need
So
to learn
what's
about this game
is
in the
another
league.
example
And so
in
it's like
culture
almost
that you
like
can
them-
think of the same thing happening though? Defending somebody in a situation, it's like whoa, like you're defending him like he really needs because that's basically the point of talking the way people are reacting to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
So
it's
like
fine.
an
So what he's gonna
overreaction
be- Yeah,
to
he's
like
saying like, has there been another
like someone
thing that's
gets
like,
wronged or they don't get like they don't win something like oh they should have won that
They
oh
should
they
have
didn't do
been
that
first, or they should have gone.
It's cool if you
this.
can't think about it, but it's like a template for things we've seen before in other areas, and I'm just that's fine.
I was gonna think that
No.
one of the things was the Reggie Bush like Heisman year because wasn't he also in it with Vince Young?
Vince Young and all them. And
Yeah.
then, you know,
Like-
guys- but it's like,
But
yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
hard to find
With
like
that-
apples to
It's-
apples.
It'd be
Yeah.
a thing to where
But I
whenever we
think-
have to see it again and be like,
I think
there's
it's
the same
just,
thing.
Well, I
Yeah,
think it's
exactly.
just the hoopla that came with Dion becoming the head coach of Colorado State,
Yes.
and then everybody crowning them, and that being the place to be. And then, but they hadn't really done anything. It was just a place to be seen. And
Yeah.
so he obviously, like through no fault of his own, I mean, he was the starting quarterback. But it's like he kind of rode that hype train. And it's like, but then when you start digging into it and looking at it, it's like, it's like they didn't win the conference. They didn't win a national championship, and they retired his number. It's like,
Yeah.
when's the last time
And I
they
think-
retired a number at Texas or
Yeah.
any, you know, and obviously you have a higher caliber of player, but I think it's just one
They're
of
just
those
playing the
things
game.
that it's like,
was playing like
I think people forget about like we know that there's. It's like I think people don't realize that how the business aspect. Or how the player has to also, they're predominantly
They have to
the
market
90% of their, you know, marketability or whatever, the reason they're getting picked up 90, 95, 90%, whatever, is their ability to play the game. But then there's also another percent where is that they look at on the other side of business side where it's like, how business minded is this guy? How like, you know, how willing is he, you know, does he understands this is the team and we have to do something to go forward and this and that. And it's like, if some dudes are just kind of immature and that's the thing that people don't realize is that like when teams are going to draft guys, look at the history in the NFL and stuff like that of talent, like incredibly talented dudes that destroy and squander their whole careers over one poor mistake. Henry Ruggs.
Speaking from a big loss on that.
Yeah, we spent $500 on a Panini card, and we got a Panini card.
Rookie card, bro.
Me, Caleb, AJ, and Kron. There was between like 5 of us.
Restroom.
Yeah, go ahead. Between 4 of us, we bought a Henry Ruggs card. And it wasn't a Henry Ruggs. We didn't know that. We just bought a Panini 1 card. It was in a mystery box. We get the box. Caleb and I open it, and it's a Henry Ruggs autographed rookie like patch card. And it's numbered. And we're like, oh, okay. And Caleb, I'm like, Henry Ruggs, I didn't really know who he was.
Yeah.
And Caleb was like, oh, Ruggs is good. And I'm like, is he? And Caleb was like, no, Ruggs he's a good prospect. Like, that's honestly a decent card.
It was at that
That's
time,
what he told me. And then literally
everyone got rug pulled.
within like 6 months, the wreck happened of us getting that card. The wreck, and he got in a wreck going like 150.
Oh, I didn't know any of this.
He got in a wreck going like 150 and killed a lady and her dog in the car. Oh, and he's alive. But it was literally like within 6 months of us getting this card of this top prospect.
You're like, well, of all the cards we had to get,
we got a guy that. So it's like, and again, and I, you know. God bless Henry Ruggs. Sorry for the fella and the lady that was in that wreck, the family that was affected. This isn't meant to like this is this is just simply meant to be hey, this is something that NFL teams look at. It's not personal a lot of times. No. And honestly, look at it like this. Since like the Cleveland Browns, if he's that good, maybe the Browns have a chance. You know, if he's that good,
what I'm saying.
That's cool because my whole life the Browns have sucked, and I think it'd be cool to see a team that has sucked be good.
Yes,
I like to root for the underdog.
It'd be nice to see that.
The Cowboys suck. Why? I don't have any interest in seeing them succeed. Right,
but there are good stories.
I'd love to watch
that. And like a good story. Yeah,
I was rooting for the Oakland A's in their last home game and they were playing the Rangers. Because the Rangers our season was done, and it was like, let's go A's. And like they should win their final game at the Coliseum. They should win their final game. The sport.
It's cool to hear that you can like get into it on that level because like I'm sure other people just do or they just watch and say it's a good game, you know.
Yeah,
but a lot of people, you know, they probably check out whenever their team's done, or if it's not their team.
Dude, it was one of the coolest games I saw because the whole house was like there was a bunch of people there. It was a damn near packed house. There was a bunch of fans that came out. And it was a beautiful moment in baseball because it was like the Rangers season was pretty much done. We knew we weren't going to be a wild card. There was no chance of us going anywhere. And all of our pitchers, whenever it came up, we were, you know, we could have like pretty much played conservative and really tried to win the game.
Yeah.
I swear that they told their pitchers just throw it in the middle. Just if they hit it, they hit it.
It's like
because all of our pitchers were just like throwing gas, like just hitting the zone, like pretty much being like
making it as easy as possible,
like hit it. And so the A's start hitting, and then they ended up winning in the game. And I loved it because the Rangers weren't trying to like play like it's Game 7.
Yeah,
the Rangers were like, we're going to give you the opportunity to hit the ball, and it's like, and then they hit the ball, they won the game. And it's beautiful because it was like
cool.
They won the game. Their final game at the stadium was a win for the Oakland A's. The team walked it off like it was a cool like thing to witness.
Yeah, the Rangers is like we're gonna play professional ball, but we don't need to try and destroy you because it's not gonna make a difference for us.
Yeah, not gonna give it to them, but we're not gonna say it's like. Here it is.
We're not gonna do our best to stand in the way.
Yeah, here it is. Hit it. Like, and it was just.
We're
really
gonna make
cool
it like
watch.
any other game of the season, kind of. You know.
Yeah, and it was just really neat to watch.
Cool.
Like,
I'll take a quick. I think I'm gonna follow Chris' lead real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do the same thing.
Take a bathroom break. Yeah. We're back, and in talking about NFL drafts and football and everything, we got so hyped up we had to take a break. We played football.
Chris put some pads on. He went out and put some pads on.
I actually remembered that I don't give a shit about the NFL.
No, we played
especially the Dallas Cowboys.
Me, Matt, and Chris played a game of touch with
two-hand.
Two-hand touch with it was me and Al Ray versus Chris.
Two
and
hands,
Matt.
3 arms.
Let me tell you something. Al Ray's got a fucking cannon.
Al Ray almost got drafted himself. Then the incident.
Yeah. So
God bless him.
Here we go. This is something I wanted to talk to you about. I saw this the other day, and
just the other day,
I was like, you know what, Matt will be perfect to talk to about this.
That's a kind thing to say.
And I'm thinking you're gonna have a lot to say about it, and you don't know it yet. Because right now you're just like fucking say
the
it.
anticipation,
and I love it. I love dragging things out like this because you really just I know how much you want to move along.
And no, I don't want to move anywhere.
And I've got the power. Taste freeze.
What's in your
And
lap?
I'm not talking about that's a piece of chicken.
Oh, okay. The lighting looked almost like a chunk of something green.
Pug shit.
I was like, that's like big nug.
Funny.
You just got shown. That's a chicken nugget. Okay,
chicken nugget.
That's literally what.
Okay.
GMO bud. No.
So, taste freeze, and I'm not talking about John Mellencamp sucking chili dogs outside the taste.
I know you
freeze.
wanted to, but that's not why.
Exactly. So,
Taste
asking your old buddy ChatGPT about taste freeze, people experiencing taste freeze, because I saw something about this.
I've never even heard that term, so I'll be learning.
Says, yeah, that's actually backed by some research. Many studies, including one from Spotify, suggest that after around the age of 33, people stop actively seeking out new music and mostly stick to genres, artists, and songs they already know and love. That is what we call taste freeze.
I'm surprised at the 33. At the I would have. If I had to guess, I would have guessed 20 or 18. Like I would have guessed mid 20s maybe.
I think it's accurate because I feel that way now, kind of. But like,
oh yeah, I guess it is probably. So
I'm 33.
Yeah, because I can think of stuff.
So you kind of had a bigger interest in music for most of your life up to this point, or it's been a gradual point of this level?
Well, what they're saying, I've stopped in a sense. I don't really seek out.
But I mean, when did you last? I guess would be my question. Like maybe was it for you? It was. You see what I'm saying?
I guess here's the thing for me. It's like seeking out would have been listening to the radio and like trying to listen. It's like I've stopped doing that to an extent. To where it's like I'm not even hearing a lot of the newer shit. So I think that's what they're kind of talking about. It's like,
I'd like to know if the study it had to have been
check it out.
Or has been done.
Look it up.
Like 20 years ago, just to get an idea of it. Whenever
ask about the study of taste freeze. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, let's talk about taste freeze.
Because I know you're a big fan of music. And I do kind of, So
I know I'm an outlier, but as far as like actively looking for new music intentionally on a regular basis, I do that. Still, I'm saying I'm an outlier. I know.
And that's what I'm saying. So there's a difference. I feel like, okay, new to you or new as in release date?
Release date. Every month I'll be like, what came out this month or this week?
See, for me, yeah. Exactly, and that's what I mean. I know you're a very big music person, so that's why I thought this would be an interesting topic.
Yeah, it is, and it's one of those things that sounds spot on because I guess I feel like I know people listen to like it, and whatever they hear, if they like it, they do, they don't. But I think a lot of people, that's how they've been their whole life. You know what I mean?
I think it's talking about John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yep.
Let's see what it does. Yeah, okay.
Type in people after 33 experiencing taste freeze.
I'm so smart it is.
Just type in musical taste freeze.
This is me testing and see, well, not that taste freeze. So, like, and if it doesn't get it this time, I'll do the next one. But this is an opportunity for me to see how well I can figure it out.
Is it really trying to get? It's really trying to get us towards John Cougar Mellencamp. It's like,
okay,
I really think you mean John Cougar Mellencamp.
It's getting there.
Oh yeah, she's like, you gonna finish that, fool?
Let's see.
Don't tempt her
Taste
like
Feed
that.
study in 2015.
I didn't realize it. I was just holding it there, and then I felt her head on my leg. Pissed.
She's like, you ever finish this?
See, dude, this 03,
You see her?
it's never, but like the 03 model, this is like current, like next level, because it knows when to actually search online for sites and stuff. So it's not just literally what it's been trained on. It's like thinking and knows to do more research, and it's actually doing the research. And it only goes long, so it's interesting because if we gave it something that it's like actually having to do some like real time research on. It's not just making it up. So here we go. Using the early mid-30s, average listener stops adding much brand new music to their diet and drifts back to artists and genres that shaped them in adolescence and early adulthood. The term was coined in 2015 by Spotify data scientist AJ Kalia, who found that common spelling that U.S. users' appetite for top 40 hits plunges after age 33. Let's see. Why does it happen? Well, let me see. Is it inevitable? Taste freeze monitor. Okay. No, I mean that's interesting. So have there been studies done before this? There have been prior. Oh, this keyboard is so sensitive.
It's like your message got cut off.
No, that's what's like. I actually hit enter.
I know. I saw it.
Let's see.
It's okay. You can set it on the table.
But yeah, just talking about conversationally. Yeah, like I said, this my impression of the world. I get the impression that it happens for people on more often earlier than 33, in that most almost want to like have an idea of the gauge, like start off the questions of like what the person's baseline interest in music is, because even that in itself is kind of, it's always an interesting thing. It's like you ever meet a person and be like, oh, what bands do you listen to? It's like, I like everything, but then he's like trying to ask him like, but like, who do you go out of your way to listen to, do you care about? And they're just kind of like, oh, they might be like, oh, I really like those songs by those guys. And that's about as deep as, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just like an observation, just how different people are. And it's like, it's because music, obviously, I like it a lot. Let's see.
It's one of those things where it's like, I know I've gone through periods in my life where like, I was really into music, and then times when I wasn't, and stuff like that. But it's like, I don't know. It's also one of those things where I know that like over the years, you're like watching something about somebody or whatever, where it's like think of like a YouTube short or something, and it's like DMX telling some story about like this one time he was kicking it with Big L. And it was like, damn, I always knew the name Big L, but I've never listened to his music. You go back and listen to Big L,
So you've done this sort of thing before.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of, it was like I knew.
That's
like
a cool thing
Nipsey,
about rap, that they kind of have that element to talk about things they listen to whenever they're basically giving, like, it's cool. Like, it's something pretty unique to them.
Well, like Nipsey Hussle's a good example of it, where it was like I knew who he was. Like I knew, like before he was killed, I knew like of him. I knew a couple of his songs. I knew like I don't know if I or something.
Know any of his stuff, but maybe I'd recognize it. I don't know.
You might, but probably not, just because of like the nature of music now, where it's like it's not like radio stuff.
How long ago did he die?
He was killed in 2019.
Okay, that's recent. Okay.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, no, his.
I saw
his
an
story
article,
is,
but I'd never.
Yeah, but either way, he was one that like I knew of before like he passed away, but then like afterwards, it was like I really started digging in. It was like, damn, man, like
he was really good.
Fucking gold here.
Dang.
Like, but the way that's more the way that like I'll get into stuff is like
that's like not gotcha.
Well, or even like
there'll be
stuff
spontaneous reasons that you kind of like get to that, but not
Well, like
like
a year or
with the
two
starting
ago-
of like looking for music. It's something spurns you on that path.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a year or two ago, I was thinking about. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Something got me thinking about Pantera, and I always, was like
Yeah.
into them, and it's like,
You're like, I don't know if
fuck
I've
with a
heard all
couple
that
of like,
album, or,
yeah,
like,
and
really
so it
giving
was
them a
like,
thorough
I really
listen.
like went back because I think
Yeah.
I heard them telling some story about Trendkill, like
Great Southern Trendkill. Or even reinventing the
And-
still, like it's
and,
like even
yeah.
going back and listening to like the later one.
I think
The
it was
last
just
one, I
them
think.
relating some story about like recording that album and like going back and being like, I never really listened to that one because, at the time they came out, it's like, oh, what were the radio songs? Or
Yeah.
like I was looking for a certain, certain things didn't resonate with me at that time.
Yeah.
But it was like some of my favorite DMX songs, like now, are ones that like I used to skip over back in the day. That it was like, no, I'm looking for this and this. But
Yeah.
it's like now as I've gotten older, it was like, no, actually the one that I used to skip the most is like probably.
Which
my
is cool. I
favorite.
think that kind of part of the whole age and just things being more interesting and you wanting to actually have a fuller understanding of the artist. And there's just a way you can appreciate it more, I think, as you get older.
Yeah. Well, it's like early on, you're caught up with like wanting to be a part, like, like the most
Knowing
popular
about
song or
everything,
knowing the most popular
Yeah.
stuff, whatever. And then later on, you're just kind of like wanting to listen to the more obscure shit and stuff like that. Whereas some
Exactly.
people are kind of like you, where it's like maybe you already start that way. That's the thing. Everybody, the different strokes for different
Yeah.
folks. And I think most of these studies are based off of pretty much just normie. The normal, and it's like most people are probably like, yeah, I don't know. I kind of stopped listening to music. I just kind of listen to my old stuff. All the new
Yeah.
stuff sucks. And
No,
it's
and
like
that's-
they found that most people were probably 33, whereas it's like people like you and G, other people are
Yeah,
outliers.
yeah,
It's like, but
we
I
won't
do
go-
kind of naturally see I can't lie. I read
feel
that
like I
study.
line up with that.
I was going to say,
But
I read that
even with
study
me,
and
I
I'm
still
like,
do. Like even my own time, I
Yeah.
find myself enjoying going back and listening
older
to it.
shit.
Like
Yeah, you
it's
go
like
back to
the
your
quest
silence.
of being aware of new music is like its own separate thing. But like
Yeah.
my pleasure music, a lot of times it's like it's
Don't
It is
don't
interesting.
think twice.
Yeah.
By Waylon is always gonna be there.
I had
Like,
this. I've had this card game with me, and it's a movie trivia card game on the go, right?
Okay.
And it is pretty funny. It's because I just
it's
pulled a
funny be-
random card.
it's really
And
funny that you did that. Keep going.
I pulled a
because-
random card, and at the bottom of it, it actually lists a movie from 1958, and it's a question: Who was handcuffed by Tony Curtis in The Defiant Ones in 1958? A. Jack Lemmon, B.
Jack
Sidney Poitier, or D. Or Debbie Reynolds.
Sidney Poitier.
So again,
Debbie Reynolds.
A.
I know.
A. Jack Lemmon.
The Defiant Ones. Actually, I'll pick
B,
Jack Lemmon.
Sidney Poitier.
I'll pick Jack Lemmon.
Or C. Debbie Reynolds.
I'll pick Jack Lemmon.
It was B. Sidney Poitier.
There you go.
You're wrong.
Ask me how I knew.
How'd you know?
What was the year?
1958.
How many black people were on that list?
There you go. Here we go. Tom Cruise's nickname in Top Gun was A. Mustang, B. Maverick, C. Viper.
Viper.
He was the Maverick man. He was the Maverick
There you
man.
go.
We all know that.
That was right. It is B.
These guys, they
They
look like
just
Tom
like Tom
Cruise.
They were just taller.
They
They
were
were really
taller.
quick, taller guys. If I was,
taller Mavericks. They
perhaps
weren't a
I'd-
speck
Dude,
of
okay,
light.
Mikey. You know what's
Guess
funny? You
one.
pulled that out early this afternoon. I literally made a trivia game.
These cars are cool. You did?
Yeah, like today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Viper
To show you
was
tonight
Tom
on here.
Skerritt, right?
Yeah.
To literally
Or
show you
was
tonight on
Jester?
here, and
No,
like
Jester was Tom Skerritt.
so it's interesting, and you can just and then whenever it's your turn, you get to pick the category.
This I would wreck at.
I like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. You pulled it out, and I
Yeah,
literally
we can
made
play
this
that.
today. No, we don't have to, but it's like
Oh, fuck it.
the synchronicity. I had to pull. I was going to show it at some
Here's an
point.
interesting one, and then we can use this. We'll
Yeah.
go from there. We'll go to this one. In Cool Hand Luke, Paul Newman must prove his toughness by
eating 50 hard-boiled eggs.
By eating
no man
50,
can eat
by
50
eating
hard-boiled
50
eggs.
What?
Hard-boiled
By
eggs.
eating 50 what? A, goldfish.
Wait, no, it was
B,
goldfish.
Hard-boiled eggs.
It was
Or C,
goldfish.
donuts.
It was donuts and goldfish.
The answer is
Fucking
A,
hard-boiled
goldfish. He ate goldfish.
Yep.
It was not
Hard-boiled
hard-boiled eggs. Thank
goldfish.
you for
No man can
Your
eat.
participation.
And I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about The 50 egg challenge.
Yeah, you can't.
Which character
It's like a
did
wing
Jude Law
challenge.
play in AI, artificial intelligence? A, Professor Hobby. B, Lord Johnson. C, Gigio. I don't know.
It's C. If those are the
Gigolo Joe?
Yeah, Gigolo Joe.
Sorry, I'm like, what
Gigolo
the
Joe.
fuck?
Jilly Joe
I'm
Gigolo?
Jilly Joe.
Oh, he was Gigolo Joe for real.
Jilly
Gigolo
Joe
Joe.
Gigolo?
He was Gigolo Joe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Certainly.
He was Gigolo Joe.
Yep.
There you go.
It was
Wow.
a great movie.
Unbelievable. C was correct.
He's an android.
Matthew.
He's
had
an android
never-
that's
Matthew had
was like a
never
male
watched-
prostitute.
Matthew had never watched that fucking movie until 2 months ago. He was like, Will Smith, AI, nah, I'm out on it. This looks like crap.
Oh. So let's see. Here we'll just do a quick. Yeah, but let's have it. Each of us is gonna be like we each have our own thing. So you pick yours, you pick yours. We don't help each other. We'll say the first to 5 points, just to give it a test run. So what category do you want?
General knowledge.
Oh, Mikey goes. He's player one.
Oh.
Just so we go in a line. It's crazy. I didn't. They gave this many categories, so yeah.
Roll down.
So it ends with cartoon animation.
Fuck.
You can't do sports. I'm joking. You can. You do whatever you want.
No,
Do any category.
politics.
All right. Where's that at? Is it down
There.
right there? I was touching. Oh, I guess it's your player two. What do you want me to pick for yours?
Go with any category.
Oh, look at this guy. Me?
Why wasn't AI?
I almost wanna do
why
that.
wasn't
I'll do
AI
general
on
knowledge.
either of ours?
I do.
Matthew has AI on his.
Oh yeah, where is it, Chris? Where's AI?
It's like right there.
Yeah, right there.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I know. I'll do general knowledge. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do, but then I was like,
okay, player one. Before 2011, True Capitalist Radio was known by a different name. What was that name?
Fuck.
United Capitalists, True Republican Radio, Texan Capitalist Radio, True Conservative Radio.
True conservative radio, obviously.
And he's correct. Chris, in what year was the movie Police Academy released? 83, 84, 85, or 86?
I believe it's 86.
No, 84.
Sorry.
I'm up. The phrase accident waiting happened example of what type of figure of speech? Idiom, simile, metaphor, or analogy?
It's an idiom.
Because some of these things can be other things. It's like,
That's
Yep.
what I would have said.
idiom
Damn,
is correct.
I'm the smartest
gone as the
motherfucker in
same
this
as
room.
All right, here you go. See, Mikey, who succeeded Joseph Stalin as General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union? Mikhail Gorbachev, Nikita Khrushchev, Leonid Brezhnev, or Boris Yeltsin?
Nikita Khrushchev.
Khrushchev.
Nope.
That was
Chris, and he was right.
Steve Buscemi.
I know.
Chris, if you planted the seeds of Quercus robur, what would grow? Grains, vegetables, flowers, or trees?
Hold on.
He's like, oh, I know this one.
Can I phone a friend?
No, hold on.
Robot.
Say grains.
And there was trees. Everyone knows it was trees.
Was
The
it?
Mexican beer Corona is what type of beer?
What the fuck kind of questions are y'all?
Pale lager. Yes, that's correct. Mikey, what is the name of Niccolo Machiavelli's work that argued effective leaders needed to crush their opponents at all costs? Rape of Lucrece, Will to Power, Love's Labor's Lost, or The Prince?
It's the prince.
Dude, you can't.
Oh, sorry.
I'm okay, dude. You're gonna make my record look like I'm not.
It's okay.
Shador Sanders, Dad.
You're about
I'm
to
the
say,
Prince.
weren't you? I believe you were about to say Prince. And you're both correct.
It's one of my favorite books.
Yep, Chris talks about it every week. Player 2, how many known living species of hyenas are there? There's 2, 6, 8, or 4.
Oh, this is me?
Yeah, yeah.
4.
We're going to 4, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we all know that. We all know that.
Didn't know that. Yeah.
Chartreuse is a color between yellow and what?
Oh. Oh, I got you.
I do know this.
I really
I just
don't.
don't know it right now.
So black, green, red, or purple.
What color is cheese? Because isn't that the charcuterie
I
board?
think it's got to be red or purple.
Yeah.
Red.
Oh, green.
Green. So the blue and yellow make green. That's what I was thinking. Like,
Yeah, that's
interesting.
Ziploc
So it's like a
bags. Yellow and blue make green seal. That's how you know it was closed.
All right,
Oh, shit. I'm going to fuck this
Mikey.
one.
Who was the 40th president of the
No,
United States? Carter, Reagan, Nixon, or Clinton?
Just count back.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be Clinton.
No,
Fuck,
Reagan.
Why did I do that?
Because you rushed it.
Because you rushed it.
Yeah.
That's why I said count backwards.
When some of us didn't learn to count that way. Rick Astley's hit song "Never Gonna Give You Up" was released in what year? 88, 85, 87, or 86? Chris? Never gonna. Never gonna.
That reminds me.
And you're.
Fucking Lindy. Loading up the jukebox.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck it, 86.
87.
There we go.
That's when the Rickrolling began.
Hey, it's not like...
Named after the mallow flower, mauve is a shade of what? What's up with all this color stuff
Named
I'm
after
getting?
the mallow flower, yeah. What?
This is like back-to-back color
Mauve
questions.
is, it's brown.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna guess. And we're both wrong. Chris, you can't even. You got to stop that. Mikey's up. According to the United States Constitution, how old must a person be to have to be elected president of the United States?
Oh, it's either 35 or 40.
35, 45, 30,
35, 30. Fuck, it's 40. Fuck, it's 35. I knew it.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't tell you that was my final answer, Regis. I didn't tell you. Clicked it.
You need
to say, is that your final answer? What? Come on! Did you didn't watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Of course, all of America was obsessed with it when it came out. You kidding me?
You sabotaged.
Everyone on Monday through Friday nights was watching the most popular game show of the time.
Would you like to phone
Andy
a friend?
Warhol.
Boom, boom. Which artist studio was known as the Factory? Yeah,
Andy Warhol.
Easy breezy, lemon squeezy.
Who didn't know?
Peter Blake, man. What zodiac sign is represented by a pair of scales?
Oh,
well,
this is. Hang on.
This is me.
I know two that it's not.
Yeah, pair of scales. Aries, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Libra.
Sagittarius.
Are you trying to help me?
No, I don't.
Might
be the Libra.
Capricorn one.
I'm an Aries, and I know that I'm not.
Oh, go Libra. Yes. Whew. Oh, well.
Hey, I won.
I guess the first
I won.
3 points wins.
All right, play again. One more time. New topic. Let's all pick politics.
All right. What's about religion?
Yeah, let's do it.
Or religion.
Oh, I can select categories.
Oh.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, geez, my precious.
No, that needs to be fixed. the AI
I
coded
want
it.
y'all to know that, like,
So player one.
Matthew is not lying about. We've briefly
just
talked about
Put
it.
them all the same.
Matthew's not lying about the power of the pug. This pug has magnificent powers that just exude the household.
Yeah,
Yeah, like they fart.
they do.
Gosh. She eats.
Let's
your
do some
stuff.
entertainment. Yeah.
Entertainment.
Which one? Film or TV?
Film and TV.
Ooh, well, they can
Film. Film-o-vision. Television.
Film. Look, my finger. Once it goes, the commitment's
All right,
made.
dude. All right, dude.
I don't control my fingers.
All
as
right,
much as
so
you
I
think.
won once.
Oh, could not load questions for player 2. This game's got bugs.
Okay.
Let's do any category. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has not been tested. All right, Mikey. What was Bruce Campbell's iconic one-liner after getting a chainsaw hand in Evil Dead 2? Perfect, groovy, nice, gnarly.
Groovy.
Nice. Chris, who plays Jack Burton in the movie
Thank
Big
you.
Trouble in
Finally.
Little China?
Kurt fucking Russell.
It's John
Shout out
Cusack.
Michael Salazar.
Oh,
Kurt
yeah.
fucking Russell.
Yeah,
In what
he's a
prison
big-
was Adolf Hitler held in 1924?
Oh, shit. Yeah, this is...
And man, this is y'all's type of question.
Would you like to phone a friend, Matthew?
I'm going to hope it's one of the prisons.
Hang
that's
on.
listed
In
here.
1924, Landsberg is what Chris said.
That would have been my guess Mikey,
right.
Ed Koch, the mayor of New York in
Old Ed Koch,
1984,
yeah.
played
Koch.
himself in which Muppets movie?
Oh, that's
Muppets
easy.
Christmas Carol, Great Muppet Caper, The Muppet Movie, or The Muppets Take Manhattan?
Muppets Take Manhattan. Come on,
Of
dude.
course.
It's an easy.
Chris, who directed E.T.? Oh my gosh.
What the fuck is this?
Cameron,
it was
Spielberg, Burton, or
James Cameron,
Kubrick?
right? Or no, it was definitely Tim Burton because Johnny Depp was in it.
Okay, yeah.
Steven fucking Spielberg.
Yep.
Wow. Come on.
What's the name of the copper-rich protein that... What's the mic?
Thank
that
you.
creates
thank
the blue
you
blood
for
in
giving-
the Antarctic
thank you
octopus.
for giving it'd be.
Did I pick
hemo,
this? No, don't tell me. I'm gonna
It'd be the
pick.
second one.
I'm gonna
It'd be
definitely gonna pick this
hemocyanin.
one.
Oh my god.
But that's funny. Well, okay, movies worked for you guys apparently. Even though I thought I switched them. In the Jurassic Park universe, what was the first dinosaur cloned by InGen in 1986, Mikey? Triceratops, Brachiosaurus,
Velociraptor.
Chodon, Velociraptor. Ooh, you sure? It's okay. I'm just saying, are you sure?
Brontosaurus.
Brachiosaurus.
Oh,
fucking
gotcha.
fuckers. You sons of bitches. Why would you
He got
fucking
that
make me-
right.
I hate y'all.
In Friday the 13th series, Chris,
Unbelievable.
what year did Jason drown in? 57, 55, 59?
59.
Nope, 57. Mikey.
Oh,
what
yeah.
80s band is fronted by singer Tuss Robert Smith? Here we go. The Smiths. Wait, no, it's The Cure. Yeah.
You sure?
No,
Yeah.
you had it right.
Because what's his name?
You sure?
Morrissey's The Smiths.
You sure?
Yep. Mikey. What were the chilled monkey brains made from during Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? Cherry yogurt, strawberry ice cream, raspberry sorbet, or custard and raspberry sauce?
Custard and
that scene.
raspberry sauce.
Delicious.
Nailed it.
Chris, in Alf, what was Alf's real name? Gordon Foster, Gordon Millip, Gordon Shumway, Gordon Von Gam.
Von Gam.
It was Shumway. Matthew, what was the code name for the Allied invasion of southern France on August 15th, 1944? I think it was Torture Overlord. But probably not.
No, because it was you're thinking France, right? So
It was the Allied invasion of southern France.
Dragon.
yeah, I was gonna say that or yep.
Thank you, sir. Mikey, the 2002 film 28 Days Later is mainly set in which European country?
Oh,
UK, France,
UK,
Germany,
is
Italy.
it not?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. There's actually another one coming out.
I saw that.
pretty
Yeah,
soon,
it's
28
like
years later.
28 years
because then
later.
it's like what it's
And
pretty
it's
much been like.
reconnecting the original
That's
Danny
probably
Boyle
gonna be
and
dope.
Cillian Murphy.
It's gonna be
because Cillian
sick.
Murphy and Danny Boyle weren't part of the second movie.
That's
28
gonna
weeks later,
be-
dude. It's gonna be good. It's guaranteed. I guarantee
When's
it.
it coming out?
I don't know if
Is it going to be a theaters?
I imagine.
this is Kathy Griffin. Easy.
which actress danced the twist of John Travolta in Pulp Fiction.
Kathy Griffin.
Yep, Kathy
Pam
Griffin.
Greer.
Uma Thurman,
Fucking
of
Uma
course.
Thurman.
Okay, mine. A stimp meter measures the speed of a ball over what surface? Cricket outfield, golf putting green, pinball table, football pitch. A stimp meter. A ball over what surface? A stimp.
I would say pinball.
Stimp.
That sounds like pinball or cricket.
Golf.
Shit.
I happened to be right with that one.
Wow.
But Mikey, I won.
No, I'm player. What the? No,
But I-
absolutely not. Yeah, you fucked me on that one. Play again.
And then Chris basically saved me a couple. So
All right, one
do
more.
we want
No
to actually
helping.
not helping?
No
each other?
helping.
Okay.
Good, no helping.
What happened to my pug? Where's she at?
Okay, so I'll do any category. You guys see this? Any category.
Precious.
Any category.
My little angel baby.
Any category. Start game.
I hope I keep
Okay.
giving
Player
you
two.
questions.
Okay, there's
about
something
copper.
that fail with the bad questions for player 2.
I hope Matt
So
gets.
do two of them any category and one general knowledge. Like
Because I think they were.
Do Chris general knowledge so it gives him crazy. It's going to give me crazy shit.
Let's see if this works.
Chris is better general knowledge
Yep.
guy.
Cool. So, Mikey, what are the scales on all snakes and most lizards made of? Epidermis,
Oh.
keratin, ankylosing, or acidosis?
Oh, that's easy. It's ankylosing.
Oh, keratin.
Oh yeah, how could I mistake that?
My crystal. The character Wario was first introduced in which game of the Mario video game franchise? Mario Party, Super Mario Bros. 3, Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, or Super Mario Land 2? 6 golden coins.
I'm gonna say,
Damn. At least it didn't give you a softball.
I'm gonna say Wario Land.
I was gonna say that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Super Mario Land 2, the 6
I
golden
kind
coins.
of I figured that was such a softball that it had to be.
No, in 2006, which band released their debut album of Fever You Can't Sweat Out? Let's see, Fall Out Boy, 21 Pilots, Panic Disco, My Chemical Romance.
I think I know.
I think it's...
I think I actually know this.
One of...
What?
Panic at the
Hey,
Disco.
Shut up.
Yep. What lies at the center of a galaxy? A supernova, a quasar, a black hole, a wormhole? Mikey?
Supernova.
Ooh, a black hole.
A champagne.
They
Chris,
don't know that.
What is the name of the main character of the anime One Punch Man? Sonic, Genos, Saitama, or King?
Saitama.
It's a pretty badass anime. I like it.
Yeah, I literally guessed.
No.
I don't know.
I knew
I
that
watched
'cause
a lot of that
Brandon
literally on our honeymoon night. It's
I knew
funny.
that 'cause of
What
Brandon
is the
Jones.
real hair color of the mainstream comic book version Earth 616 of Daredevil?
It's black because he's blind.
So the real color is you take it's F it, I'm go blonde. Yeah,
I fucking knew it was that.
Sweet Mikey. Which of these is not the name of an album released by Miami-based producer DJ Khaled?
He said mammy.
Miami-based producer. Don't ever play yourself suffering from success, major key, or I changed a lot. Of diapers.
I changed a lot.
Ooh,
I was
don't
about
ever
to say,
play
don't
yourself.
ever play yourself. Had to be.
All right, Chris. What is the collective noun for
Murder.
a group of crows? Yep, a murder of crows.
Damn, I'm over.
Let's see. For me, which Italian footballer told Noir where he's putting his shot and dragging it wide during the match? Italy, Germany, UFO.
Wait.
2016. So it's an Italian football talking to Noir where he's putting his shot and dragging it wide. So Italian. Ooh, it was not Pele. I'm gonna go Barzagli. It was Pele. It was not the Pele. It was Pele. Payway. Mikey in Overwatch. Coalescence is named for the ultimate of which hero? Moira, Torsborn, Zenyatta, or Symmetra?
Zenyatta. Fuck.
Moira. Christophers. According to Overwatch, lore, advertisement much, who was once a member of the Deadlock Gang? Junkrat, Soldier 76, Roadhog, or McCree?
I'm gonna say Junkrat sounds like a Deadlock game.
Oh, McCree.
McCree.
Wow.
McCree got wokeified too, if you know his story is funny. One of the Nintendo Entertainment System's voice channels supports playback sound samples. Which one? Let's playback sound. Oh, it's a supports playback sound samples. Voice channels.
I feel like a context clue.
Noise, DMC, triangle, square. Which sound sample? It would be. I'm just guessing DMC. Yep.
Oh, look at you. I would have said triangle.
Mikey, which animation studio produced Sword Art Online?
The fuck?
Kyoto.
Phone a friend.
A1
Brandon
Pictures
Jones.
Production IG.
B. Jones.
A1.
He's like,
Is that your
Toyota.
final-
What do you
The top one.
Is the top one your final answer?
Yes.
Kyoto Animation.
Fuck.
A1 Pictures, not
He was gonna
A20.
say this shit,
I
bro.
was literally
Chris,
gonna say A1
in the
Pictures.
Pikmin games, which of the following Pikmin colors lacks its own onion nest? Rock is
thought-
apparently the color
I-
purple.
I thought we
Winged
picked.
blue.
Wait, what did I pick? Because
You're
these are
general.
all games.
Yeah, I thought I was general, not or
Yeah,
you were
I thought-
I
general.
haven't
knowledge.
I haven't
These are
tested.
all,
I
okay,
made this
Pikmin
game. I haven't
games.
tested.
Okay, restart it one more time.
We can't trust what it's gonna
hold
be.
on. No, we're gonna keep going. Okay, in the Pikmin games, which of the following Pikmin colors lacks its own?
Yeah, so
onion
apparently
nest?
rock and winged are colors.
Fuck it.
Purple.
How
of
could
course.
you not know that,
Okay,
dude?
for me, which ability from Magic the Gathering Scars of Mirrodin expansion involves having at least 3 artifacts in play?
Shit, dude.
Metalcraft, Affinity, Imprint, Living Weapon. 3 artifacts in play.
Bro, this game is not a joke. Bro, this game is high level. I'm not going to
It's
lie,
ridiculous.
Matt. This is a high level
Dude,
fucking
AI
game.
does not make things easy.
This is a high level ass game.
Effects of play. Metalcraft. Oh my gosh.
Wow, Matt wins.
Yeah, it's I need to make an easier.
Look at
version.
player
It
sounds
one.
like AI is just raw dog and nerd
rigged.
culture.
I tell you what.
Yeah,
man.
it's just raw dog and
I
nerd
need-
culture. General knowledge, like,
Yeah.
what about
No, that's fun.
Overwatch.
I had to
Play it again.
Oh, you want
yeah,
to?
run, yeah,
All right,
run it
all right.
back.
Run it
Let's
again.
See. Yeah, because we're about to find
we wanna
out.
add
like,
Stephanie?
hey, I want general knowledge
Won't
again. And
let
I
me
want to
pick
see if
any.
I
Yeah,
get
okay. Actually, I might.
46.
Let's see,
I want to see if I get 46 questions about.
So I'll send you
Video
all
games.
general knowledge. Let's see. Because it kept giving an error whenever. So yeah, it's like it won't let us be the same. Why did it change it?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you it's a finicky.
Okay.
We learn how to get to Mikey. What do letters in the GMT time zone stand for? Global Meridian Time, Greenwich Mean Time, Glasgow Man Time, General Median Time. Good.
It's
No, she wanted to go see a movie with Anthony and Udley.
Meridian or
Oh, but she's not
Meridian?
moving out though.
Meridian.
Yeah. Global Meridian Time.
Yeah. Fuck. Where are you going?
Where are you going? Go what?
She's
Oh, what?
gonna get a tricycle.
It's almost midnight. Please don't do that right now. Like seriously.
You want me to go in the morning when she wakes up?
Yeah, I don't want you to go on 11:10 at night to get a random tricycle from a person.
No, it's the same guy that I got this thing and the other thing.
Like you
from.
don't. I'm asking you a favor, please. It's like how much you need to stop buying. Like we're supposed to. We promised we talk. I'm gonna have to pause it. We promised we. And we're back. My wife is.
I was
gonna
not-
Be
I
safe
was
for
not
me. I
right.
appreciate it. Thank you. Love you.
Meridian time was the wrong answer.
It was the Greenwich Mean Time. Chris, which novel by John Grisham was conceived on a road trip to Florida while thinking about stolen books with his wife? The Litigators, Rogue Lawyer, Camino Island, Grey Mountain.
Yeah, I think I.
It's you, Chris.
Hey,
Chris, like, no, this is me thinking as hard as I've ever had to think.
The
Flying.
litigator.
Oh, it was Camino Island. For me, the Mexican beer Coronas, what type of beer? Yeah.
wow, dude, you get that one again?
It's a pale
Pilsner.
lager. The game is helping its creator, isn't it? Mikey, what is the Romanized Chinese word for airplane? Feiji, quiche, huajian, or zhangxian?
Wait, no.
The
hold on,
Romanized
hold on.
Chinese word for airplane.
Okay, player one's turn. Category: general knowledge. What is the Romanized Chinese word for airplane? Is it A, Fangy? Is it B, quiche? Is it C, Huajian? Or is it D, Zhongzian?
Xian, zhangxian. Just
Number one, Feijun.
Feiji.
Feiji.
Hey!
look at that. Mikey.
Feiji. It felt natural.
He's just
Steve would not
been
approve.
Studying his Mandarin.
Steve wouldn't approve of you having that knowledge. You having that knowledge is a red flag, my friend. All right, Chris, which famous book is subtitled The Modern Prometheus? Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, Dr. Frankenstein, or Dracula?
The
This is a little.
book is subtitled. Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I guess. Is it Dracula?
Is that what you want me to click?
Yeah, fuck it.
Frankenstein. Who invented the first ever chocolate bar in 1847? This is me, Joseph Fry, Andrew Johnson, John Tyler, John
Johnny
Cadbury.
Tyler.
I'm going to have to go with the word I at least know, Cadbury.
Are you shitting me?
Nope.
Thank God. Thank God they gave you a gimme like that on that one.
Yeah, Jeff Fry. Mikey, what is the star sign of someone born on Valentine's Day? Capricorn, Pisces, Aquarius, and Scorpio.
It's got to be Pisces or Aquarius.
I can't click both of them.
It's the age of Aquarius.
So that's your answer? Aquarius?
Yes.
And the man, yes, look at that. Follow your instinct. Chris, what is the name of the gang that Ponyboy is a part of in the book The Outsiders? The Mafia, the Greasers, the Sox, the Outsiders.
Wait, what is the name of the game?
So
I
basically,
feel like the Outsiders is a fucking gimme.
well, because there's
So it's
could be
gotta be
multiple
the
gangs
Greasers.
in the Outsiders. Probably it's
Yeah,
probably
so
like
it's
an
gotta be the
opposing gang.
Greasers.
Yes,
Yeah,
good
yeah,
job,
that's
Chris.
A good one. Yeah, that's a good.
What is Matthew? What is dabbing? A language, a sport, a
you-
dance, a medical procedure.
And
It's a
mediocre.
luggage.
Well, it depends
It's
on where you go,
luggage.
but we'll go ahead and
medical
say that it's
procedure.
dancing.
Oh, fucking. Come on. What's mine?
Mikey, the lesser known continuation of the saying "curiosity killed the cat" is, and the silent mouse remained thereat, which taught it not to do that, but satisfaction brought it back. But by death, the truth is better than ignorance.
Wait. A lesser connotation of.
Like curiosity
I mean,
killed the
yeah.
cat.
That's like the one that I brought up. On
That
the
keeps
last
going
podcast.
like
No, I
if it
get
keeps-
it.
yeah.
I get it.
Taught it how to be a pug.
The silent mouse remained a threat.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mikey. Christoffels, who wrote the novel Moby Dick? The Melville, the Shakespeare, the Golding, or the Tolkien?
It had to be Tolkien, right? No, it wasn't Tolkien. It was. Yeah, I know. Shut up.
Romeo, where
It's gotta
felt the
be-
Mobile?
Shakespeare didn't write fucking Moby Dick.
Who knows? I'm not helping you, and that's not helping you. Or is it? I don't know. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything.
It was fucking Melville. I don't know.
Good job. What is the largest organ of the human body? Skin, liver, heart, or large intestine? That'd be the skin.
I was about to say the epidermis. Pardon me.
The epidermis is
Pardon
showing.
me, sir. Your epidermis is showing.
Mikey, when was Hubba Bubba first introduced? 79, 72, 84, 80. I think that's gum, right?
So.
Yeah.
It's not the.
We've got a whole tube of it at the house.
It's not the the wife special. The
72.
72.
I think it's 79. Yep.
Oh man. Chris, in the year 1818, novelist Mary Shelley is credited with writing a fiction novel creating this infamous character.
Mary Shelley's The Invisible Man.
Dude, are they hitting you
Frankens.
with double
Wait.
Frank?
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Is it the thing or Dracula? Or that? Which one, Chris?
Wait. Yeah, Frankenstein's mother.
Yeah, it was double Frank.
Yeah, well, it was.
In past times, what would a gentleman keep in his fob pocket? Watch, money, keys, notebook. Fob pocket. I'm gonna go with the old watch. Yes.
He getting fob pocket. What am I gonna get?
What?
Player one.
I think they're giving Matthew double points for some.
Well,
of these.
that's another game or episode of Matthew's rigged bullshit game.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
And you know, it's
That was honestly fun. That was really cool. That was actually a really fun game.
Yeah,
it
and-
was
but-
better than getting beat by Crane's all or nothing alt.
Yeah, or getting stuck with Barrett.
Hey, I got Boyko. I got Boyko last
Hand
time.
grasp.
Give me the Barrett hand.
Yo, I was dead with Boyko early
I know,
on.
You really were. You and Chris kept getting hoed.
Yeah.
And then
He
you
was
got
like,
Crane.
Chris, literally the only move you can do is Barrett hand grasp. What move do you want to do? You got Barrett 4 times in a row.
Hand grasp.
Hey, little. Dude,
I guess it's hand
better
grasp.
believe it. So that is I guess that makes it to a question. I just when he asked you guys for a toss this ball. So I was sitting here the other day, hanging out, talking to myself, trying to not go crazy. And I got these computers. It gets kind of hot in here. You guys have felt that.
Yeah.
It gets warm in the spot. These computers put out heat, and so obviously if I'm like sitting here for extended period of time, I don't really need that one on. But you can be lazy and you get up and do something, you leave something on. And there's different performance settings you can have them set at. And basically, if it's on a higher setting, it's like an engine. It's running hotter. And it, by default is making more heat. And if you're running a program, it'll push it more and you can really feel the heat happen. So it's all like, okay, I know all this. And I know that even if there's not a program running, if I had it being on at all, it's going to make it warmer in here. And I'm always battling that. But I still continually don't turn it off until I'm like, man, it's hot in here. Yeah. And then I go and do it. It's like, and it made me have the thought of I continually and knowingly underestimate what that'll do. And it just made me think it's like, I know better, but I underestimate it every time for some, or I'm just lazy, but I don't know what it is. And it just made me think of like the other things in life that you might find yourself doing, like, and it gets you every time almost to where it's like, I don't know, why, like, or just in that similar, it could
laundry
be like,
and taxes. I'm like, fuck.
Or just like you eat something spicy and you think, oh, it's like I shouldn't do that. It's like, man, okay, yeah, that is really, really hotter than I thought it would be. I wish I didn't do that. You're like, never happens to me, and it might not.
Laundry
but I just had the thought, laundry and taxes.
I always underestimate how long my fucking laundry and taxes are going to take.
Oh, okay. Okay, there we go.
Like,
that's a good one.
I'm like, it's going to take me this long. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Okay. It's like, well, I didn't clear the calendar enough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I'm a professional ballman.
It's like, I know.
I'm trying to think if I could think one for you.
You probably can't.
Probably can't. I can think at least one time you underestimated the ability for you to eat a 1 pound burger and a whole plate of large fries.
No, I ate it. It took a little.
Oh, was
while.
it the 2 free birds or?
No. What you're talking about?
Whatever
is
something
you're talking about Fuddruckers.
Okay, yeah.
But that was coming off of the victory that I had at Buka's. Because Buka's
that wasn't even the challenge to begin with.
That was my Buka de Beppo's was my crowning achievement.
Yeah, so Chris doesn't know that feeling, guys. So that's an ultimate human.
I try to temper my expectations.
Yeah,
in every situation. Probably the only thing that I could think of.
Enough to it become an annoyance. Like, what's something that annoys you? Okay. I think. Oh, that's about as good as it gets in reality.
Yeah, it's like we're not getting into those stories, but
yeah, there we go.
Fucking
that fits the bill. That actually painfully fits the bill.
So have you seen Matt? Have you? Is it okay for me to segue to something?
The ball's gone.
John Turturro. Have you ever seen him in or as Abner Doubleday?
Oh, I don't know.
So I go to our podcast Instagram and the message, like it's the last 2 messages I sent you.
Doubleday.
It's going to be hilarious. Play it so that the people can hear it. It's about how baseball got invented. How the game in baseball, like the rules got made. This right here, just watch this.
When ready. I didn't know you were going to toss it quite so hard, ball thrower. All right.
Okay, that's 2 past you. Yeah. So you're done, right?
No, I said 3 times. No, you said 2. I said 3. 3 strikes and I'm out. I know what I said, shortstop. That's your new name. Shortstop, that's right. No, forever and ever, shortstop. Shortstop. All right.
It's like 3 freaking.
3, you're out. No, the ball was too low. In order for it to count as a strike, it has to pass through the strike zone.
Strike zone.
That's right. If you don't get the ball past me between my knees and my titties. It's not a strike. It's a non-strike. And you throw me 4 non-strikes. I get an express ticket to first base without even hitting it. All right, are we ready? That also gets me to first base as well. Fire when ready.
I guess that's one of his Netflix movies that I never watched or something.
I love it, man. He was just
that's
like,
pretty great.
If you throw
Shortstop.
Dude, play it again.
Oh, yeah.
Fire when ready. I didn't know you were going to toss it quite so hard, ball thrower. All right.
He gives it to him. That's a strike.
Okay, that's 2 past you. So you're done, right?
No, I said 3 times. No, you said 2. I said 3. 3 strikes, I'm out. I know what I said, shortstop. That's your new name. Shortstop, that's right. Now and forever, forever and ever. Shortstop. Yes. Strike 3, you're out. No, the ball was too low in order for it to count as a strike.
That's great.
It has to pass through the strike zone.
Strike zone.
That's right. You know, if you don't get the ball past me between my knees and my titties, it's not a strike. It's a non-strike. And you throw me 4 non-strikes, I get an express ticket to first base without my even hitting it. All right, are we ready? That also gets me to first base.
What movie was
as
that?
well.
I don't know, but it's how LeBron plays basketball.
Oh man, that's funny.
I just know it says
It has to be one of those Netflix ones.
John Turturro
Well,
credited.
and fucking look who the catcher is.
Yeah,
it
it's
was 2015.
Rob
It says
Schneider.
Abner. It's all I see is Abner Doubleday.
Abner Doubleday.
Let's see.
Oh,
The
don't forget. We
Ridiculous
do need
Six.
to.
I
Okay,
think
there we
it's
go.
the Ridiculous Six.
We do need to check our mail. We can't forget to do that.
Yeah, the Ridiculous Six.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Good old Abner.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't let's forget. I think there might be something in the mail, but I can check that. Or I'm just saying, I don't want to forget.
Let's look at it now.
Because I have no idea what.
Oh, we need to roll the movie dice. So let's roll
that
movie dice,
beautiful movie
and then
dice
let's look at our emails.
What I put you? I put you here, so we use the same one.
Shortstop.
Shortstop.
Now and forever.
And then he just laughs at that motherfucker.
Okay, let's see.
What the
53.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure we don't have that one. Let's see. Let's check the old film class log. Nope. So this will be the next one. 53.
So we pretty much got the 50s done.
We haven't had one in this. We had 61. That's the one in the 60s. And really not a ton in the 80s yet. All right.
Wow. We already, the wild one that came out then.
Oh, the reason that
that's
biker
that
gangs got started.
Oh, okay.
Bike riders.
I watched that Bike Rider movie not long ago. I think it's called The Bike Riders. Something.
The reason they call them 1%ers.
Who calls them 1%ers?
Yeah, Marlon.
Well,
Oh, okay.
Like outlaw
Marlon Brando.
outlaw motorcycle clubs, like so the Hells Angels, the Outlaws, the Mongols, the Banditos,
The Bengal.
they call themselves 1%er clubs, and it was actually from around that time period that basically the national organization, the AMA, the American Motorcycle Association, or whatever, you had a bunch of guys that were coming back from, like, what was it, World War II? Or whatever, that were looking for the,
could be the
free-spirited, like, adrenaline, all that, whatever. They came back to civilian life, and so they just raised hell and rode motorcycles. And so everybody that rode motorcycles started to get that, like, moniker pinned on them that like, oh, you're a bunch of hell raisers. And so the AMA, the American Motorcycle Association, came out and was like, no, 99% of motorcycle riders are
like
good
the normal good
people.
upstanding citizens.
He was like the only ones that are
they-
bad are the 1%, and so now
So they gave
it's
themselves a badass
something-
like thing.
Well, and
like,
it's something too that when you see what they call OMCs,
Mhm.
because they don't call themselves gangs.
Yeah.
It's like it's OMCs, Outlaw Motorcycle Clubs.
Yeah.
But they will wear it's the diamond patch with the 1%. They wear it
So that's where
proudly.
that comes
It's
from.
like we're the 1%.
That's
like
pretty
that.
cool.
Yeah. And so it started with that. That movie's about like I believe the Booze Fighters, which the Booze Fighters I think were, and I could be wrong, but I think the Booze Fighters are the oldest of the outlaw motorcycle.
I never even heard of
clubs.
them. But
Yeah,
so I
they
believe
were
it.
the original. They were green, which is bad luck.
Yeah, dude, 53 was a great year though. Like,
Maybe it's because of them.
I
But
could
their
do
patch
53
was a
right
fucking
now.
beer bottle.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. You've been watching them. You
Well-
just already know what some would be.
Gunsmoke, House of Wax, The Hitchhiker.
There's a Gunsmoke movie.
Yeah.
I was
And then
always familiar with the TV
Shane.
show. Oh, Shane,
Shane.
dude,
Yeah.
that makes me think of your dad. I think
Well,
Or said-
and-
that was
and
like
Shane, yeah.
Shane is
Like,
it's
that's
funny because
one like the most famous.
You
Western
said that
of all-
about my dad. Like,
Yeah.
first time I watched that was with my dad.
well, and Shane is one of those that like that stranger comes to town format, like, and the ambiguous ending, like where they've talked about in other
Shane.
movies. Like,
I think
did
that's
he
tied
die?
to Southern
Did he?
culture too, more probably.
You know.
Can you pull up a clip? I have something that'd be interesting to show here.
Oh, dang! I'm sorry. I think it was. Oh yeah! Don't forget about this bad boy, Mikey.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to warm it up for you. It's a flux capacitor. I just turned it on.
Hang on, let me make sure.
Oh, Chris is going for one that's going to definitely destroy the castle, isn't he?
Maybe.
Hold
Yeah,
on
there's
here.
no middle
Give me
one
a
on that.
second.
Oh, there is. I pushed it out and didn't complete it.
Okay, so go to
Story of my
YouTube.
life. Is that youtube.com?
I think so.
Okay.
Type in Big Fred, comma,
Penis.
the Django fight scene. Django.
Fred Django. That's
The Django. The D is silent. Right there, the top one.
Oh, from Django Unchained?
Yeah, so watch. Click on this, but then you're gonna skip forward to like 3 minutes 41 seconds.
There you go. There you go.
The scene.
Why is the auto quality choosing to be out?
The interaction between Jamie Foxx and this guy.
Tequila. What's your name?
Django.
Can you spell it?
D-J-A-N-G-O. The D is silent.
I know.
Pause it. That guy played Django in the original Django movie in 1966.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
So that's why it was like, that's why he's like,
So
how
what's
do
the
you
original
know
one
how to
about?
spell it?
The same thing.
Is that guy black?
The first one was a spaghetti western filmed
Okay.
and produced by co-writer Sergio.
Well, you saw how
Carlucci.
Okay.
It starts with
so
breakthrough
Quentin.
role.
Oh, Quentin.
The film follows a Union soldier turned drifter and his companion, a mixed race prostitute who become
Hey, now.
embroiled in a bitter, destructive feud between a gang of Confederate red shirts and a band of Mexican revolutionaries intended to capitalize on and rival the success of Sergio Leone's A Fistful of Dollars. Carbucci's film is like Leone's, considered to be a loose, unofficial adaptation of Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo.
Kurosawa. Yeah.
Yojimbo, which is the movie that
and
I
that's
shout
it.
out Bare Naked Ladies. like Kurosawa and McNabb films.
Yeah, that's
He was
cool.
talking about,
So that's
like,
the original Django. So that was like a cool.
That's cool.
And we've already seen.
Did you ever go watch
this year
Yojimbo?
the
Because remember that
movies.
year I did. Like I talked
honestly,
about it.
I did not.
Did you
I
need
know,
to go
I
watch
need to.
Yojimbo?
I know Yojimbo.
I did a big
like,
thing on. That's
I
cool.
know.
That's
Well,
cool.
and
That
this year
That's a cool
of-
thing that Quentin did there.
This year of movies too, we've already seen how Charlton Heston was a white man and could play Hispanic.
It's
So
powerful. Anything's possible back
he
then.
was a Hispanic guy.
Anything's
that several
possible
years
back then.
previous Played Django. in
That's what I'm
the
saying. Anything's
Django movie.
possible. Anything's possible. That's
Anything
cool. That is
possible.
cool.
That
That's
is
cool.
wild. I did not know that.
All those like little nods that directors, creators will do to it. It's like, oh,
No,
a
and
small
that's-
percentage of people notice this, or it's
Well,
really
and that's
cool.
like what they talk about. Even his Tarantino's latest movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
how
they're doing a
it was-
spin-off movie with Brad
how-
Pitt's character. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what. And
and
you know
how-
who's directing it?
David Fincher.
And how he was saying it was like that. Tarantino's entire career has
Yeah, he's
kind
been
of been a
shouting
love
out.
letter.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it
to
really has been.
Hollywood and to all of it, but like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Dude,
really was like.
Have you
that.
listened
And
to the
they're
Robert
saying
Rodriguez
that-
JRE episode this week?
I haven't yet.
This
but
is
I
one you
know
need
that-
to listen to.
I know that
I'm
they've
gonna say
always
that
said
you check
that
out episodes.
Tarantino's going to do one more, right? Because
One more movie,
he's-
yeah.
yeah.
That's
'cause he
what
had
that's
said
been
he
his
was
thing
gonna
to
do
10.
9.
But Joe Rogan JRE this week, Robert Rodriguez interview. Who's the director, worked with Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
It's
Dusk
powerful
Till
stuff.
Dawn and all that.
Yeah, like beyond directing, like
Mariachi.
David Lynch,
Desperate.
kind of like
Okay.
insight and wisdom on this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
listen to that.
He did
Yeah.
Desperado.
No, I know who he
Yeah,
is.
you know,
yeah.
Dusk Till Dawn was literally Quentin wrote it, and he talks
So
about
that
this
he
on
could
there.
drink
That-
tequila
No,
off of
but
Selma Hayek's
it's
feet.
like halfway through, it's like it's literally changes movies. You have no idea it's a vampire movie. It becomes
Yeah.
one because it was literally like Quentin was writing like his own thing and. Basically, it got to a
Robert
point,
Rodriguez
and
turned
like
it
they
into a
made him
vampire
be
movie.
that like guys, it's supposed to be a vampire movie. Some VFX studio was paying to have it done. They wanted them to make this movie so they could show off their effects. And they're like halfway through, it's like this isn't even a vampire movie. So like then they basically had him make it to
I
one.
did
so
not know that.
yeah,
That's
so it's
fucking
crazy.
awesome.
Because Robert Rodriguez directed that movie. And
I
Quentin
don't-
Tarantino did the screenplay.
I'll never forget watching
Yeah.
that movie at the house whenever Chris and them were at work. He had all the DVDs, and I was like, Dusk Till Dawn. I was like, yeah, let me watch this one. This looks
Yeah.
cool. And I'm like watching it, and then eventually the vampire scene, I'm like, what the? What? There's
See, that's the
vampire
cool thing.
movie
When we
now?
saw it, we thought like that's cool. They did it on purpose, but it's like no, it wasn't planned to be that way.
Yeah,
like
we were just watching it for Selma
it's like he
Hayek.
was literally like making like a different movie almost. But yeah, you got to listen to the interview. It's pretty cool.
No,
It's like,
that's really
awesome.
interesting. Definitely sounds like something worth listening to.
Yeah, yeah. He's got this creative system and thing, and I know, dude. I'm saying it's some power. Like I said, the coolest thing I think is some of David Lynch stuff that he said that's like really inspiring and uplifting in a unique way. He's Mexican.
Have either one of you guys? You just saying some of this got me thinking about you saying something there. For whatever reason, got me thinking in my mind about George Norrie, Coast to Coast AM, things like that. Have either one of you, and Up That Alley of Conspiracy and stuff like that, have y'all listened to much of the Wendigoon episode on JFK Files?
No.
It's pretty interesting so far from what I've listened to. And he
Yeah.
does a good job of pretty much explaining that he was like, this could more or less be a starting point for someone to really dive into it deeply. He's like, he only went so far, and he was like,
Like with what's been released recently?
yeah, and what he was saying is that more or less like the craziest stuff about the JFK things is that so far, like, from what he was saying is that like the shit that was released, unredacted, that, it's like, yeah, okay, they don't come right out and say, yes, we killed JFK.
Yeah.
But, you read between the lines and you understand that they had information, they were prodding people, they knew things were in line, they could have stopped it, probably they didn't.
Yeah.
But he was saying is that it's like the other shit that was in there, the people, really had no idea about it. Like, it just blows the lid off of like, yeah, we were doing this, we're influencing in these countries,
Like
we're
other
doing these
things, like
because that was the
ancillary to
reason.
it,
That
yeah.
was the reason that for so long when they released the JFK files, they were redacted to shit. was because there was so
It
much
wasn't
of
so
it that
much.
contained stuff that had to
Not
do
related
with
to JFK.
operations.
That they didn't
It
want
was
to be known that they offed him. It was that.
No, it sounds like
Yeah,
what you're
that's
saying
what I'm
has to do with
saying. It's like-
exposing things beyond the JFK
it's
stuff.
like what they were doing in
Yeah.
other countries, their typical
Yeah.
protocol, how they ran shit to where it was almost like
giving away tricks of the trade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To where it would have almost, and not only that, but the people
Spycraft.
It would have
And,
it would have almost made it to where they could have, you could see their
Be
if
like
they
a
were doing
playbook.
stuff exactly, and if they were doing shit, you would actually be able to like kind of. Oh, okay. This seems like something the CIA would do then, because
Yeah.
if we know that they were doing this in other countries,
So it
and
wasn't about
influencing-
did he get killed or not? It was to be giving away too much other stuff,
Exactly.
and that makes
So
sense.
that's
Well, he
why they didn't
literally
release
came
it.
out and said that he wanted to smash the CIA, like
Yeah, but I mean
scatter
that's
the
even
ashes to the th-
but
to
even that's like being more specific to what he said. Like that's like
He's saying which-
implications are
but-
broader. But JFK really brought himself why they did or they did it. But I'm saying they couldn't expose it for be like JFK could have been anybody, but it's just like like you're saying
No,
this is
but-
how we do things that that other countries could see and be like, okay, this is how or even this anyone.
Yeah, and so that's what he was saying. He was saying the reason probably the CIA even killed him was because it was
Gotcha.
like he knew
came out
he
and
wanted to.
was like,
He
"I
knew
know
the
what y'all
shit they
are
were doing.
I'm gonna tell you, and it's
He was a
like,
threat to
it's
them.
not that like
Yeah.
he was just gonna defund the CIA or something. It was that he was gonna be like, yo, everything
Y'all are overthrowing
everything
countries.
everything that y'all know is a lie, and this is why.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you go telling people
That's
that,
believable.
And these
that's the
people are
problem.
overthrowing countries, and that's the thing is that people start finding out that and it's interesting because Wendigoon changed his opinion on. Early on, he had talked about saying he didn't think Oswald was even a shooter, but now he thinks that he could have been a shooter, but definitely wasn't alone. And there
was
was
just
like
a
a bunch of
patsy.
weird. There was a bunch of weird stuff that.
So he's
lined up with
actually
it,
like
too.
reading through because I feel
Yeah, he
like this
read
might
through
be
a
a
lot.
thing.
That's
that
what I'm saying.
They
Wendigoon, 'cause
actually
that's-
did something successfully by releasing that much shit. Because I think a lot of people just like someone else has to be looking through it. Because there's a
Wendigoon
lot
was
of
even
shit.
saying that he's read through a lot of it. He might have read through all of it, but he was saying that he was like, I eventually got to a point where I was reading it, and he was like, and I didn't even know what the fuck I was reading.
Exactly.
He was like, and he said that it's like none of it's in order.
Yeah.
It's all out of order. You don't know shit. And he did say, well, the one thing I think that's worth. Excuse me. I'll always plug this guy's podcast. Go check out Wendigoon and listen to that episode he talked about with the JFK files, because he says in there one thing that's interesting about 25 to 30 minutes in, somewhere in there. He talks about how you can distinguish when you're looking at some of these declassified documents. He was saying if they start with like 001 something or 1102, he was like, you can tell CIA, FBI, Homeland Security.
Okay.
Yeah,
you can
by
tell
the-
the number,
by the tag name,
the
where it'd be
designations on it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this number
That's good
designation is CIA, that's FBI, this is Homeland Security, DHS or DS.
where it'd be like if you ask somebody in the army, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm an 11 Bravo. It's like, oh, you're infantry. You ask somebody in the Marines, what do you do? I'm an 0311. Oh, you're infantry.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like
they're-
you're Marine infantry.
Yeah,
or
it's a
Army
legend, but they
infantry.
don't
It's a
give us that.
designation.
They had to like figure that out. Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just interesting. It's cool that it's like listening through some of that like you learn useful. It's kind of funny because like he was saying, through looking through the JFK stuff, he's finding more shit that's more fascinating and just like what the
Just the
F
general knowledge level,
versus
like the
just-
exercise is getting a lot from beyond just knowing more about the JFK specifically.
Well, and two, knowing it's like already we've pretty much known that he was assassinated by our government, or that
Yeah.
our government had a hand in it,
And that
what
he
he's
was never
seeing-
on the moon. He never went to the moon.
Yeah, and
He
then what
faked
he
it.
was saying is that JFK more or less was that was insane. Why they killed him more or less, because he knew, like what Chris was saying, he wanted to kind of blow the lid off of what they were doing, and it was just cool to hear like what Wendigoon was talking about. How
Is that a pretty new episode, or is it kind of one you went back?
And
No, he's
it
within
came
the
out.
past
It
2-3
came out
months.
a week or
Okay,
two
after the release?
the JFK
That's
release.
cool.
But it
I
was-
definitely needed to go back and listen.
It was one of those things too, where it was like the JFK stuff is like Ian Carroll said when he was down the hall at Joe Rogan's show a
Dude.
month or two ago.
That's right.
When he was talking to Rogan and talking about how the JFK thing is probably the best gateway drug into conspiracy theory. Yeah. Because it literally involves every element, like,
and the
to where
assassination
it's like
of a U.S. president, like the biggest, it really is.
Well, but to his point was that it's like you have everything that's out there that's known, but then there's also so much bullshit too that it's like you have to kind of know how to parse through. It was like, okay, there's a
just
ton
like talking
of
AI
information in there. And there's a ton of bullshit. There's a ton of like truth. And it's like kind of, in shorthand or whatever, this can teach you in general how to research things that are questionable.
Yeah.
And pay attention to this, shuffle this shit away. Like when words like this are used, or whatever.
Yeah. Thing I love about Wendigoon is like you were just saying something a second ago, and that's I started to like you had made a joke or something I forgot, but like one thing about him is that he even mentions in this recent episode where he's rehatching the JFK stuff is one of his earliest episodes that like really helped him get a lot of traction and help blow his channel up was a JFK episode. And so, but he had said that he was like then versus now, he was like, my standards for research have changed a lot. He's like, I have a lot higher standards for research. And honestly, dude, you go watch his videos and like
and
the level, level to which he like researches and can tell you, like, and he'll redact, he'll be in the middle of a video and then all of a sudden you'll see a clip where he pops in and he's like, so at the time of recording this is what I figured out or the thought.
He updates
for the last 20 minutes. I've been saying this name wrong, and I've been saying that Matthew Pitts did this when actually it was Chris Smith that did this.
Yeah.
But I got the names confused. So like for the last 20 minutes where you've been hearing me say Matthew's name, it was actually Chris, and so that was my fault.
That just sounds like a guy's too lazy to do a good take.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
No, I feel him. That's cool.
When he does, but when he
I didn't
does
say that because
when he does a deep dive video,
I don't fault him because
that's because he's like, he's going so deep into it.
He does.
It's like if I were to do it every single time, I would never get anything done.
He does deep dive videos like once every like 2 months.
That's
like
cool.
it's not something that he's like, I just
on a weekly basis. Like it's that long of a process of research he's doing.
Yeah, he tries to make sure that he's on his like P's and Q's, and it's like I've watched videos of his on subjects that I was pretty well versed on. Yeah, and came across his video on the Branch Davidians in Waco.
Dude, funny you mentioned that.
Was
this
the
week in
best
history
ever. Yeah, 420. That was earlier this week. Or his video on the North Hollywood shootout, the bank robbery.
See, he sounds like a guy that I would think that you're going to see him putting out high quality stuff at even greater rate as he learns how to use AI. I'm saying like using AI smart.
He's always put out
I'm saying, but like I imagine he'll be smart and use AI in smart ways to be able to do this even better. I'm just saying what he's gonna do. Like I expect him to, you know what I mean?
So he's got 4.25 million subscribers.
Yeah, which I'm saying.
And then that JFK video got 3.4 million views. So he knows what he's doing, and he's
you do JFK right.
Yeah, he's got the gold.
He's got 4 million. 4 million view, 4 million subs, and 3.4 million views on the JFK.
So we're
videos.
gonna switch to a JFK podcast. I'm down, dude. I'm down. I'm joking.
No,
dude.
not at all.
I'm joking.
Oh yeah. No,
you're supposed
for
to say,
sure.
dude. Seriously, like this is what we're doing.
But all that to just say that at how he's able to cover something and find info, stuff like that. And he's been doing it.
How old is he, I wonder? Probably our age.
Around that. And he's been doing it before, He
probably was as passionate as he did on his own.
Way before you were able to have, while AI, that's the thing that's kind of cool about him. And then it's like, I don't think he needs AI.
No.
Because the reason, all I was going to say is that
I
like.
understand it'd be like him just giving... even better, like him raising like what he's even capable of doing. I'm not saying he needs it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he could like do something even more enhanced. I'm saying just like even me and the shit I make.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's doing it for him, but a person who's like, he knows the way to use it and actually dig deep in ways that he's been doing without it. Like, those are super powerful. Like, those, you think that people are like really smart and use it really smart? They use it better than we could, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's all. It's like that. That's the thing. I was like,
No, yeah, for sure.
No, he doesn't need it at all.
Yeah. I was just going to say that it's like, if you actually go back and watch a lot of his videos and his early stuff, it's like, you know.
How long has he been
doing it? A lot of
it
it
now?
was, oh, man, I don't know, like quite a while. Like, I've watched, you know, let me see, I could scroll
like
back through
over
and
5
try
years?
I could
No,
scroll
yeah, you
back
don't have
through
to.
and-
I just know for some.
Dude, I mean,
If you don't know, that's not a big.
I'm scrolling back just briefly through his videos.
Yeah.
4 years ago. 4 years at least. He's been
Yeah.
doing this at least 4 years.
How do you always spell his name? W-I-R-E?
Wendigoon. That's him.
Yeah.
The top one. That's his, like, that's what his thing looks like.
Oh,
The
yeah.
top right. Because the other one's probably not him.
Yeah,
That's a
I've seen that,
fandom
yeah.
thing. That's a bullshit one. The top one's him, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I dig the goon.
But yeah, I mean, he
Spend some more time
does,
with him.
you know, he does pretty good deep dives and stuff onto some of those. Hey, stop, girl. Leave that alone. But yeah, his JFK one was cool just because, like, he talked about a whole lot of other shit that was not necessarily
Like,
what you
seeing
would
the
have thought.
value in the journey of that beyond that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean, that's like which is cool. I'm going to grab a drink real quick. 'Cause
Okay, yeah. We're back. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know where we've been.
Yeah, I
say
just
that
know we
as-
come back and our home is destroyed.
Look, things happen.
I know something happened.
This table.
This
It
is
could've
a really
been-
unstable
Could
table.
have been earthquake. Could have been
It's-
earth pug. Who knows what it was?
It's one of the most unstable tables I've ever been around. I barely bumped this table with my knee, and Jenga all
President,
over the place.
are you gonna fix the mess he made? No, I don't think you've made
I
any
tell you
other
one thing.
many messes. I don't think you have, but this is clearly one.
Had they built it correctly, they wouldn't have had to build it back better. So that's why I'm here now.
It was,
so I'm
it
gonna
was
build
probably
it
too
correctly.
tall to begin with. Too many pieces.
It's-
too complicated.
Probably one of the worst pieces of Jenga block architecture I've ever seen.
Inefficient, I think.
Very bad. Some of it fell on the ranch here. Would you like a little bit of ranch off that Jenga block, Matthew? No. Oh, he's going to lick it. He's nasty.
You know what? I'll save that for later. But believe it or not.
It's like the Vince McMahon.
I almost did, but I literally said there's a better version of you that doesn't do that.
doesn't do it.
And I
Look at that.
And I said I'm gonna be that Matthew right now.
Oh, that's a shame.
I took the
If it was just me and my wife, I would have put the whole thing in my mouth.
I took the path less traveled, and it's made all the difference.
Yep.
Couple of movies that I've watched recently.
Well, if you could do that, because there's a couple I got to talk
with
about.
Allie that she hadn't watched.
You got to introduce her to some cool stuff.
Yeah, Big Fish. Watched that today. She hadn't
Awesome.
seen it. She loved it. Thought it was a great
Awesome.
movie.
If
Right?
she didn't like that, I'd have been like, man, there's a lot of questions to have about her.
Right.
That's
she
like
did, she did enjoy
right
Big
up-
Fish.
That's such a good movie.
And then
Nathan
Field of
another one.
Dreams. We watched that the other week. She hadn't seen Field of Dreams. She saw
Dude,
Field of Dreams.
that's awesome.
Loved it. There was also some new things about that I really liked, and I was like, wait a minute. It's also could be a cool example of like not realizing how you could be how you could be motivated or influenced by things and you have absolutely no idea about that you're influenced by them or motivated, right? Because
Okay.
we've done the Man Under the Umbrella things.
Yeah.
Right? Well, in Field of Dreams, I was watching it with her last week, and in the movie, they find one of the guys that they bring back to the field is Moonlight Graham. And he's a doctor.
Yeah.
And whenever people were telling, he went to Kevin Costner's character goes to where his practice was, and they're like, sorry, he's passed away, whatever. He ends up talking to people that knew him, and they talked about like how he'd always be seen with like an umbrella. And he had the umbrella in this like bag, which was his doctor's bag, like almost like a briefcase thing. And then like you see him in the movie, you could look up like Moonlight Graham Field
you're
of Dreams.
probably like, that's
and
awesome.
he's wearing the hat. He's wearing the hat like I wore and the freaking pea coat, and I'm like, dude,
You hadn't. It was there, but you didn't know.
After watching it, I'm like, is this why I did that? So like, if you find
I mean, it was in your mind.
If
so
you go to
you
videos, it'll probably
pulled-
be one of the first scenes that pops up if you
Let's
wanted to
see.
check it out.
Not great. Let's see.
You're just typing, Field of Dreams.
This thing?
No, because that's whenever he comes back. Because it shows him.
Because he steps
that's
off
like
the
him.
field,
That's like him. Yeah, no, but there was a couple of shots of like whenever Kevin Costner first, like when everything turns. It might be that one
that I'm on right here.
Maybe. Either way, it's so there's a point in the movie where it's like he goes back in time. It's like time shifts, and all of a sudden, Kevin Costner is like he's in this downtown area. And he sees Moonlight Graham walking towards him, and he's like got the umbrella and the briefcase thing, or his little bag and his hat that he's wearing right there. With his
and you can totally see.
Click on it. That might be it. Yeah.
What do you want to talk to me about?
It's like right when he found him.
Well, when you got to the majors, you
so it skipped some of it, but that's like the scene.
But no, that's
so
like I said. If something was in your mind, I think like anyone else, it's like we're anything that's in our mind from anywhere is. Intentionally, unintentionally a part of anything else we do, or at least something in your mind. They have no idea if you just had the idea completely separate from that. Either way, it was in your brain. It doesn't matter. It's cool though. Funny. It's a cool thing. It's
I just thought it was funny.
I think it's like, interesting.
It's like never was that an intentional motivation or anything. And then it's like I see this, and I'm like, I've seen Field of Dreams a handful of times. I love it.
I think it's just a coincidence, but it's still it's interesting. It's just interesting.
But either way,
it was cool to see. Probably like
you should go watch Field of Dreams.
Yeah, it's about cricket, right?
That is what it's about.
No, that is a classic.
James Earl Jones, man, what a character he plays in that.
Dude,
he plays like a poet or whatever. It's an amazing character.
Yeah, no, it is, dude. It's like a nice, warm, relaxed Sunday afternoon here in the way he talks in this movie. Like all the time, but this movie is just really it puts you in just a happy, warm place. If you clicked
on that scene right there, the bottom left, that's the one you're talking about where it puts you in.
It's like a warm blanket just of like America, a good, just happy America.
But the fact remains is that you don't
this
have the
is
money
why
to bring the
people
mortgage
think
up to date,
if you build
so
it, they
you're
will
still gonna have
come.
to sell it.
It's this scene.
I'm sorry, Ray. We got no choice.
Ray, people will come, Ray. They'll come to Iowa for reasons they can't even fathom. They'll turn up your driveway, not knowing for sure why they're doing it. They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past. Of course, we won't mind if you look around, you'll say. It's only $20 per person. They'll pass over the money without even thinking about it. For it is money they have and peace they like.
Ray, just sign the papers.
Get that homeless black man off your property. No, it's okay.
Sit in shirt sleeves on a perfect afternoon. They'll find they have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines. Where they sat when they were children and cheered their heroes. And they'll watch the game.
I don't think you need belt and
it'll be as
suspenders
if
on
they
at the same
dip
time.
themselves in magic waters. The memories will be so thick.
It's a short
they'll
stop
have
right
to
there.
brush them away from their faces.
Ray, when the bank opens in the morning, they'll foreclose.
People will come, Ray.
You're
Like, I like
broke,
listening
Ray.
to this other guy
You sell
more.
now or you lose everything.
The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time. This field, this game, it's a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again. Oh, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
Ray, you will lose everything. You will be evicted.
You're done. Battle.
I kind of I kind of would like to think that before Kevin Costner dies, he'll make like another baseball movie.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he will either, but I feel like the way he's done, like trying to like present, even with all this Western stuff, like America in an old light.
That's it.
Like he has a strong tie to baseball, like because it really does have an American spirit element.
Mm-hmm.
I felt I could see him like wanting to at least one more time because who else?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because no one really has a voice. But I'll just show a couple of trailers too before a couple movies that came out this week, and all I can say is I was very for just personal enjoyment of these movies that they both came out in the same week, and they're both like a unique caliber of like action or sci-fi horror. So first start with this movie called Ash that came out on Wednesday.
Ash Wednesday?
Yep. And Flying Lotus directed it, if you haven't heard of him, like yeah.
Abnormal activity detected.
Something is not adding up.
Listen to me. You and I, we have a purpose. Do you understand this?
What are you not telling me?
What's happening? Unusual life form detected.
Yeah. Now to say, but quick thing, the cool thing about this movie is because I feel like anyone who watches it, if you're like really into sci-fi, it looks like a story you've seen before, and it like it falls in some form or fashion or format or template, or there's a lot of things that probably reminds you of other sci-fi horror movies, and even premise. But actually watching it, it's for me, my interpretation is because this guy's made a lot of sci-fi movies. He hasn't made a lot of movies, but I feel like it was like he loved and saw these sci-fi movies, and it's like a spin on stories you've seen before. But it'll literally, if you like think of other movies, there's certain scenes that he does. I feel like he's intentionally like doing them similar to them, almost as like, hey, I'm letting you know, I'm not trying to copy these. This is like saying, yeah, this is similar ideas and shit, but it does do things differently in a unique way.
I guess like the Wilhelm.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah,
it's like they put that in
exactly. So that was my take. So a lot of people be like, "Oh, it was good, but it was kind of derivative. It was this or that." But it's like, no, it's like if you watch a cool thing, like I think I could do a cool sci-fi story like that, and literally that, but a unique telling of it. I feel like that's what it is.
Well, it's like the scene you said in the second Deadpool movie. That was a shot for shot. Like,
oh yeah, oh no, Deadpool, Wolverine, Old Boy.
Yeah,
and this is the other movie.
What you got for me?
Oh, and it's it did something funny, and I feel like it had to be somewhat intentional.
Do you know?
But the movie takes place during Christmas.
My son is
obviously the only other thing he gets. Die Hard is released in summer, and it took place during Christmas.
Your son just started a gang war. They just want to shoot him dead. That's the end of the
summer
story.
Christmas
I make
movie.
one phone call. You go down for life. Get him back. I'm gonna get you out.
Yeah, it's the best action movie I've seen since like the John Wick stuff, like that style.
People
like,
out there looking for you.
But even unique if you've seen The Raid.
You're not gonna get out of this city alive without my help.
I'm so happy that Netflix got Gareth Evans to make this for them or with them because this is exposing a lot of people to action in a way they haven't seen before. Yeah, dude. Like some of the fight choreography in the scenes that he had.
Kill them all.
It looks like you guys shoot up pretty bad, Jake. Well, it's kind of hard to dodge a fucking washing machine.
Like I'm gonna be watching this again tonight, literally. Like when you leave, like I'm gonna put it on and watch this again. Like I think it's going. It's like action in one of those ways. It's like, oh damn.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how this share. In one more clip, and you can talk.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah. What you got?
It's not this. So if it's movie related, just that clip of Sheila walking in the circle. I was gonna share just like the parent thing. So
you can show that, and then because I had one thing to go ahead.
No, whatever makes more sense.
Like no, it's because mine might take a second. Then we can recommendation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's just some clips. This was being parent. You take a bunch of videos of your kid, and you don't really sit there and always like. It's like, oh, she's being little. I'm just following her. She did, But like, if I was going through the process at the end of the day, like, oh, let me put this in the folder. Remember. And I want to try and intentionally, like, actually watch some of them again to sit there and actually try and think what was going on in her mind. Because here's an instance where I'm with her alone outside, and we start this into the car, and she just takes me in a circle. But I just feel like by the end of it, you can let me know what it seems like is going on in her head. What you doing, Sheila? Oh, you want to go to your favorite spot? Oh. The way she just navigates through here like she's through crevices on like a canyon, or something. She's like, okay, over here, over here. Okay. Go around the car. And this look on her face, you tell me what this look is. It's like, huh? She's like, she sees the car, she's like, wait, why am I back right where I started?
Starting point.
Yeah, she literally.
It's like she went on autopilot halfway through, and then just like woke up at the end, and she's like, "Wait,
yeah,
what
this little sound you barely hear right here is just coming around.
What?
In the car?
Huh?
She's like, what the? She's like, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like, what?
That was like a very magical moment. So yeah, cool.
No, all I was gonna say is, I've thought about it before, or I've heard the topic of conversation, whatnot. But then you showing those last like couple of clips really, I think, like brought the point up. It's like like both of those trailers. I'm not saying that they're probably both good films, and like everything does it right. And I'm not saying that they're not the. Everybody, I feel like now, and it kind of makes me like, I don't know, it could be my conspiracy side, my tinfoil hat side of myself, but the 808, the bass, like, you notice how both of those like trailers, because like, the effect that the 808 has on human emotion and dopamine.
Yeah, you've talked about it before, but what is it again? Well,
so like the 808, it's like has profound influence on human psychology and music production. It's associated with excitement, aggression, or even physical sensations like movement and a quote like kick in the chest. This is due to its powerful low frequency sound, which can stimulate dopamine release and evoke strong emotional response.
In my mind, it's like it makes it just perfect. If I were creating a film, I'd want to use that sound knowing it had that. You know what I mean?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's my point. Is that it's like so how much like knowing that it's almost like
it's knowing the
trying to say that just because something gets you drunk, does it taste good? What got me drunk? But like it's like
where it was like if you watch that same fucking scene with Mozart behind it.
Yeah, so he's saying like the trailer you get here, but he's saying like, is it like
how much of these
or like
movies
in the whole movie is like
so many of the movies? John Wick
in the movie too, like in the movie.
Yeah, because even John Wick too. It's like almost all the not the movie too, but John Wick or all the most popular. It's like all of the action scenes are like. the whole way through, there's
So
all
I guess
these.
the test would be to like always watch a movie without any sound first.
Yeah, you could try it that way.
If
But I
you-
mean, it's
yeah.
just interesting
It
to
is
know
interesting,
when
yeah.
you know that there's an effect, that there's scientific research behind the 808 and the way it affects people.
Yeah, I guess for me
then-
personally, it doesn't like it doesn't really have an effect other than knowing that it's powered. That okay, it's cool. So that's the science behind it.
Yeah, it's like-
and then their choice to do it in my mind makes sense. To where
It's
it's
like
like if they know something's gonna have a better effect. I get what you're saying,
I
but I'm
can-
saying for me, it doesn't make me feel any different
I
personally.
can see it from both sides.
Yeah.
Of the where it's like from Matthew's side, it's like it's part of like if you understand that going in, then it's part of the picture that you're trying to paint.
Or just
Then
part of like
it's
the tool set I
want-
have to use. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, I want this fucking punch to hit, so I want it to land on the drop of this note, whatever. And whereas, like, what you're saying is that it's like, how much stuff do we like watch?
That
it's like
shitty that we feel better about because of
yeah,
that.
because
Yeah.
it's really and so it's like from his end, it's like he may be the wrong one to question about it because it's like, he tends to watch it as a whole, whereas like somebody else may watch it and be like, yeah, dude, that movie was awesome. And it was like, okay, let me show you that same fight scene with, din, 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 din,
Yeah.
playing in the background. And it's like, does it slap as hard as it did before? And it's like,
So I mean, it
no,
sounds like it
doesn't.
makes you
And
potentially
so
feel
it's
different
like-
about things.
No,
Well,
I'm the same. I understand exactly what
Yeah.
you're saying.
It's
I know
not
exactly-
that it makes me feel
808
different. It's that
covers
I
a multitude of
understand.
sins.
I understand that
plot holes.
there's things that's physiological that
Yeah.
I can't. No matter how much I can be like, this is how I feel about it consciously. I'm aware that there's things unconsciously that the same way subliminal messaging.
Yeah.
The reason you can't, the
Or
frame rate
TV
stuff, you
setting
can't
you- yeah.
have, and then the way that TV puts you in beta brainwave state
Yeah.
versus alpha, to where
Yeah.
it makes you more subjective and easily led. While I can know that stuff, it can still work on me. It can still.
Yeah, but I guess
and
it is
so-
good to know it at the same time,
that's
so you
what
can
I'm saying.
be more
and
critical after the
recognize,
fact.
one, recognize too when how much, like literally almost, if you go look at most of the trailers, I feel like from mid 2000, like early 2000s, all the way up until like 2000, like 9, 10. I feel like you will eventually hear where that starts, where of that like Michael Bay, like
Yeah.
what it feels like to chew 5 gum.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, shit was cheesy. It was like explosion, new Keanu Reeves movie, and it wasn't. But now I feel like so many. If you look up most all the modern trailers, they all like have the
Yeah.
this summer. And
yeah,
it's like
once
I'm
one
not
does it and
saying
it works, it'd be almost like every studio. It's like you need to use that because it works.
formulaic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it becomes a formula.
Exactly. And it's like, I'm not saying it doesn't, yeah, cool, but like,
No,
on their
it's good to
end,
know
it's
and be
wise
aware.
to do it.
Yeah.
On their end, it's wise to do it. It's a good because you're working at but I feel like on another level, to me, it feels like manipulation. To me, on another level, it feels like you're.
I mean, I can see your take on it.
Yeah,
I can see what you mean.
But at the end of
for,
the
for
day,
me,
it's
I don't see
like-
it, but I get why
Yeah,
you could say it that way.
But yeah, but at
Like
the
your
end of the
perspective.
day, it's fucking cost benefit analysis, and so if 1% of the population views it as manipulation, they're like, yeah, fuck it,
Who
because
cares?
60% of the population thinks it's a dope ass
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah,
and so that's what they base
No,
their
yeah.
metrics off.
I
of.
mean, I feel like it'd go along with people who take drugs or do things to make them enjoy
But I
stuff they
understand the
normally don't. You know,
frustration that it's like
everything is
Yo,
that now. It's
y'all
like we're
are-
just not
y'all
going to
are
realize
hyped-
that everything
y'all are hyped
is
over some corny shit. It's
Yeah.
like, this
Everything
corny
is
ass
just
shit,
like-
but they
eh,
dropped
like-
an 808 on it, and
all of a
it's
sudden
cool.
it's like cool.
It's yeah.
Which I'm not saying that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't saying that. Like that.
It says
that
observation,
was-
and
it was
then
just
like
like
yeah.
one of those. Like in general, like you can make fucking Katy Perry and them becoming astronauts look fucking dope if you drop fucking
Yeah.
808 behind
Well,
it.
and two, and then two, it's almost like in music, right? Because don't they always like Henry Rollins used to talk shit on like he's like stepped down on like an A minor or whatever, like a minor
Drop
chord.
D.
Like, isn't there like one where it's probably super easy? Like,
Drop D is probably what he's talking about. To where like, yeah, you can basically, if you can just push your finger down, you can play chords and stuff.
Like,
a power chord.
Just like power chord.
It turns like a
your
power
bass-
chord
That's
into
what it was.
literally just holding, if I can just have my finger push down and just slide, you know. And for me, there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
Just because it, in my
But
mind, like his
Henry
brain,
Rollins was
you would
saying he
hate
was
on it,
like
probably.
step down on a fucking power chord and think like,
Well, it's like-
they
yeah,
really did
well,
something. And it's like, and most people are like, oh yeah, and that's kind of like what I meant, where it's like, rather than like dudes like Steve Vai that are like, like doing
and
crazy
it's funny,
shit.
and just for me, it's like even like this someone who plays music and can just as a musician. I remember being younger and being like, "Oh, they're using drop D. That's easier," you know. But then, when I was younger, just to have like a mindset of like, they're good, but they're not that good because they're doing drop D. Drop D. But as I've gotten older, my perspective is like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like honestly, if it sounds good and it lets them play and make the sound for me, that doesn't even matter. And honestly, in my mind, I'm at the point to where if I can make this easy enough to make someone who's afraid to even touch an instrument actually pick it up and take an interest in music. So for me, it's like that's an elitist way. It's okay for personally and have these thoughts, but it's like to project it, I wouldn't be cool. Yeah, it is like gatekeeping. It's like, oh, they found an easier way to do something that's like this. So it's the interesting thing. Just because I feel like it's kind of like
my point is though is that it's like trying to compare somebody. It's like my point is though is that it's like, you know, what back in the day you had to have had BB King level expertise to get your people's attention. With the ability to do that, it's like, you know, it puts people within the, you know, it can kind of help out a poor
levels
player.
the playing field.
Whereas it's like that's what I kind of think with some of this 808 shit. They just drop 808 shit on everything. Everything has that deep bass and makes you, and it's just something funny that's interesting. I noticed where it's like,
it's good information.
Whereas like movies like Vertigo and other things, they played on different shit. Like you said, the Noir film, how that played on stuff
it's like
with the
Miles
jazz
Davis.
music.
Yeah, it was like no bass or anything.
Exactly.
It was literally just a soundtrack going in the background. So if anything, that shows how really amazing that movie is.
That's what I'm saying. To where it's like back then they weren't just relying on those like basic, you know, it's like, or the, you know, it's like now we've just gotten so all of our science has gotten so good that it's at the point where they know
people
like
don't
how
even
what
like
physical
are
emotion
willing to not to make something separate from that.
They have to make it more real.
Motherfucker's Billy Bean everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
it's Billy Bean everything
that's really what it is.
Well, the metrics say that, like, if you look at the top 200 films of all time, that if you look at the scores of them from blah, 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 they play this note at this point and blah, 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 and all of them have this in the same blah, 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 and it's all
If I'm like a director getting movie financed, I just care about the story to where it's like, we really want you to use this. I'm like, I'm like a down a hill to not use
like
it. To where, you can use that beat. That's cool. You know, I want to get my story made.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like last week we were talking about movies and stuff where it was like I don't fucking watch movies anymore because I don't, you know, it's like I watch older stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like anything I watch now, and it's kind of like what he was talking about the music stuff.
A taste freeze
earlier
for film.
too is it's taste freeze type thing, but it's like everything has seriously become so fucking formulaic and so fucking prepackaged that I'm just like, I don't care. He was like, the only reason I'm watching this is because I want to see like how like cute you are with trying to squeeze your social message into this film, into this formulaic film, because I know like A plus B equals C, and we're going to do this all the way through. But how are you going to squeeze your social message into the middle of it so that the average person doesn't? And it's like, I don't know.
I almost would do an exercise because I feel like there's like an age of innocence factor to where
100%.
Like I want to do an exercise to be like all the movies that you want to go back to and think to where if there's people our age that felt the same way about them. That we just aren't living in the day and age
there is,
where like we're seeing it in real time.
No, but because there's movies.
You know what I'm saying?
There's
like
movies
the same thing was happening before, but it's decades ago. We don't care about those politics.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point that like I'm making is like I'll go back and watch movies.
That's what I said, Age of Innocence, where all that knowledge
I was like, oh my God, that was fucking, blah, blah, blah. But I can remember being in elementary school and, getting some assignment, being like, oh, you need to do this, blah, blah. And my dad being like, oh, that ain't nothing but blah, 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 this and that. And they're just trying to like slowly push you down this path.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, Dad, they're just trying to get us to draw a picture.
Yeah.
And then, but now at
now
my
you
age,
see what he was saying.
Like looking back, and it's like,
oh shit, Bob, I finally get what you're saying.
They weren't just trying to get us to draw a picture, and The Lion King wasn't just about the evil uncle ate the bulb.
Yeah, that's what I feel like at the age of enjoying things before that was even a concept.
And so back to
almost,
like, were you talking about Pops last weekend watching that
Mickey
movie
17.
where he was like,
and I totally get y'all's thing going. If anything, I feel
but it's
I'm
like,
pulled more to how you feel about it than I was before. Just know that.
The only thing that aggravates me about it is like, I can suspend my disbelief,
but this guy can't. This guy can't.
Yes,
this guy can't.
And the thing is they play on that. Yeah. They play on that insidious nature of it.
Exactly.
Like,
and I can sit there and say, I think this is great, and some people watch it, and it's influencing them, and things I wouldn't actually want be cool with, because I take for granted the fact that they're not thinking on the bigger
like
picture.
demonic or satanic stuff, and it's like y'all don't realize what y'all are consuming. Y'all think this is okay.
Yeah. But so know that, and that's why I'm glad you brought the point, because it is like
bring it
good
up
to think
and
about.
It's like, oh, isn't it crazy how this is just like that movie? And it's like, you mean that movie they wrote 6 fucking months ago to try to parallel everything that's going on right now, to try to make you feel like all these people that they want you to think are fucking stupid, like, are stupid. Like,
Well, I feel like, to kind of double down on his point, and if you want to see an example of it, how many times do you hear the term right-wing extremism? How many times have you heard in movies, TV shows, right-wing extremism on the news? Right-wing extreme. You never hear left-wing.
Oh,
you've never heard left-wing extremism.
It doesn't exist in these worlds.
You've only heard right-wing. So here's my thing. The reason I bring that up, if you go watch movies from the 80s and 90s, they're talking about right-wing extremism. Oh, yeah, it's like an X-Files episode. Yeah, some right-wing extremist threatened to do this. Oh, they found out that it was a right-wing extremist. And it's like, they were saying this shit in the 80s and 90s. And now, what have they been hyping and gassing people the fuck up on in the past, since 2010? Whatever. It's like, oh, racist, white people, right-wing extremism. It's like they've been drip feeding this shit for the past.
Has been in this game forever.
That's my point. It's like you plant on what he's saying.
You plant the seed in fertile soil, and then you water it. Where it's like, I mean, you're literally seeing it. You're literally seeing. I feel like in the world today, it's like the inverse of it, but they say that the world becomes great when old men plant trees whose shade
young
they will never see.
Yeah.
And
the generational thinking mindset.
But I feel like what you're seeing now is the fruits of trees that old men planted, in that
they wanted to enjoy the shade in their own life.
They've sowed the seeds of dissension and all of this, and it's like I don't even know. Like,
I get what you're saying. I
kind of lost my train of thought on it, but it's like,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, for me, it just shows how like the narrative and how left they've been the dominant force in media and in entertainment, literally from the onset. Like, they've literally been planting. It's like you're saying, go back. Is there any point in time where the left was the bad guy?
No.
Yes, in actual history. In
movies, though.
But yes,
in movies, it's
and
like,
that's the thing
never.
is that, and I guess that's what. So I guess that's.
And that's
back to
almost
the
like an
point.
obvious thing people should look at and think, wait, if they're always making this the bad guy.
No,
that's
to the point
not
now
how life
where
is.
it's like,
Life isn't that one-sided, so it's obvious.
Well, that's to the point now where it's like now they have all these female leads and roles where it's like, oh, the female lead is a super genius and all these men around her are just fucking idiots. Oh, we're just stupid.
Yeah,
we don't know anything. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? Why?
Well, it's like they can have a smart female lead and then still have smart guys around them instead of like, oh no, she's smart and they're dumb.
No,
it's like
but generally the male character arc in movies all throughout history was the hero's journey.
Yeah,
like you're not
it
shit.
had nothing to
You're
do
not
with
shit.
gender or politics.
No, but you're not shit. You get thrown into a situation where it's reaffirmed to you that you're not shit and you have no reason to even be here. And then you go back to the drawing board and you become the fucking greatest and you go back and you vanquish the people that told you that you ain't shit.
Yeah.
It's like now what you see in movies is like what they call like the fucking Mary Sue character, where it's a female lead that's just like, oh, I woke up this morning and I'm the most powerful mutant in the universe and I never had to learn how to control it. And I just, and then there's never there's no character development. There's no like Spider-Man with him like
his uncle.
The wrestling,
I mean, I believe it. I haven't watched
where
enough of the
it's
recent
like-
stuff to like say
Well, no,
personally. I've
but
seen them like skip that stuff. I'm not saying it's not true. I just don't want to agree in that having seen it myself.
Where it's like you've done away with the hero's journey in the like basically trying to shoehorn in that like women do whatever men do. It's blah 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 whatever. And so like Ren from fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
She's just automatically the most powerful fucking Jedi in the world, like ever, all through human history, and all she was like wanted to do was like, I don't like my parents. Where Luke had to go Luke had to go hang out in the fucking swamps with Yoda and ask Yoda questions till Yoda
he had
fucking
to go
died.
through, like, trial of
Yoda
fire,
didn't
but-
want to answer questions. He got his fucking hand cut off, and Ren just like wakes up and he's like, well, that's just
Yeah, but
nice
for what
to-
it's worth, I feel like they've done away with that level of character development across.
Well, they have
in
now because
general.
nobody wants to fucking buy it.
Exactly,
But,
in general,
like,
guys, girls, even like just all stories, they've done away
that
to where
could come
it's
back to attention span,
yeah,
and it's,
I think,
and again,
I think so.
Well,
And
it's the hero's journey
I think
versus
it's all
the Mary
things.
Sue.
Yeah,
Where it was like nobody wants to hear the story of, that's why people hate on Trump. Where it's like he had a $2 billion
I think that speaks
loan.
to culture, like you
He
say,
had a
attention
$2
span being
million
interest,
loan
being
and-
like, oh, they want instant win. It's like I want to wake up and be the best. It's like
Yeah.
there's years and years of trial and journey and learning and struggling.
Well,
It's
how
like,
did
oh, that's
you-
not that didn't speak
No,
to me because
she
mine.
was-
I'm gonna become sexful overnight. I'm just gonna
No,
like
she survived a snowstorm, and now she's
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like the one character, the Mary Sue character versus the hero thing is whatever. Is that it's like, one character is less development, more just like bam, here it is.
Payoff, yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
question it. Here it is.
More sensational.
Whereas the other one is that it's like, hey, these are for, and it's again, it just goes to show you, it's almost like the more we go on, the more idiocracy makes sense because it's like our attention span goes down.
Yeah.
our ability
we
to
want to
understand
skip all that the part where he
abstractions.
actually became and gained the skills and had the
Exactly.
values.
The abstractions of it all, like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. It's like, oh my god.
or like the literally the opening where Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man and Miss Marvel becomes Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Where it's like the Spider-Man scene is he goes into the wrestling promotion. The wrestler
And he
promoter
kills
doesn't
his
pay him.
uncle.
The wrestler promoter doesn't pay him. He gets fucking robbed. Spider-Man does shit. The robber runs away from robbing the wrestling promoter and then shoots and kills his uncle.
Yeah. Like he
Miss
hadn't had it
Marvel-
honed yet. Yeah.
Miss Marvel, she walks past a guy that's sitting on a motorcycle.
And saves the day immediately.
And
Probably.
he tells her that she should smile more. And she beats him, steals his clothes and his motorcycle because men can't tell women that they should smile.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah,
so
no,
that's like
pretty ridiculous.
Spider-Man is presenting someone with a real life where it's like, if someone
powers are ridiculous,
would you
but
do the right thing in a situation to protect someone that did you wrong?
Yeah.
Or would
if somebody offends you with the words
would
casually,
you destroy someone and steal everything they had because of a perceived microaggression?
Yeah, there was verbal.
Why is
It was
Marvel?
verbal.
Why is Marvel and Disney not making any fucking money now? Mm-hmm. I can't imagine why.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so it's like
Well,
yeah.
Back to the point that that's kind of why it's so it's so difficult for me to watch movies nowadays because it's like, and I try so hard to like look past that stuff, but it's
like Y2K was pretty good, but then there was no. I was gonna say Y2K was pretty good, but there was like bits and pieces of it where here and there you would see, and it was kind of more or less like whatever. It was almost more or less
and
like
again,
not
I
as
think
insidious.
But I think that is the insidious part of it, is the more subtle it is, where it's like people don't realize how subtly
it's like whitewashing
they're being
history and stuff like
influenced
that.
Towards stuff to where it's like
that's not how it was.
No, and it's like, it's not. And so it's like,
but it's getting late.
The older I get, the more I
it's almost one.
try not
so we
to
should
be
probably
an old
wreck it up.
curmudgeon, but
We can't. No, I can't help it, and it's we understand. It's almost like information like that is like you. There's a point we feel like you have to stand your ground on it because it's gonna die. Like this way of thinking is gonna die if you don't. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, for sure, it's a good point.
No, again, and it's like, and like I said, I never like watch stuff, and it's like, oh, I don't enjoy any of it. It's like it hasn't. It has.
It's like,
its
no, I don't
moments,
enjoy life, guys.
but
So
it's
the movies are just happen to be a tiny part of it.
Yeah, it was like I don't enjoy any of this shit. But yeah, no, it's just it's
no,
one
we're
of those
good.
things.
Just be careful what you watch with Chris. So we got something. We should wreck it up here.
Yeah, let's recommendation of the week. Do you got one?
Yeah, watch a movie with your boys.
There you go. That's a good one.
And if you know they don't care for something, go out of your way to make sure that it has those elements that he doesn't care for. No, mine is gonna be watch Havoc.
Wow.
Watch Havoc specifically.
Havoc.
Watch the movie
Fourth
Havoc.
wave feminism.
Watch Havoc because I said like action. For me, I feel like it's a director doing, for me, action films at the pinnacle of what I can see. Like it's the best of an I can ever expect from an action film right now. Like in modern times, for me, that's what that movie was.
Okay.
My type of, again, that
I
comes
get
on my
that.
taste. A lot of like choreographed, kind of just violent, but it happens quickly. Just a lot of, but realistic. Chris is like into technical stuff. To where Chris will watch it and just very technically sound with a lot of the stuff.
It's like,
so it's like take John Wick, but have less gunplay, but still have a ton of gunplay.
Literally like The Raid and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's
that,
the guy
where
directed
it was
The Raid,
like,
yeah.
if you watch The Raid and know anything about like
Gareth Evans.
FMA,
So
like
watch
Filipino
Havoc.
martial arts shit like that.
Yeah,
where it was like everything
Pencastelat.
there-
Pencastelat was the one. It's crazy.
It falls all under that.
But yeah,
that
so
same
that's
umbrella.
mine.
Watch Havoc.
Yeah. But not with your kids unless they're at least 18.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. My recommendation of the week is if you have like you have Roku or
there's one with the T. Are you talking about?
Well, Tubi technically, yeah.
They don't have their own
technically
TVs
Tubi.
yet, or stuff?
Well, I was gonna say, here's my thing. Most people have a digital TV, either a digital antenna or they have like Roku or Spectrum TV, some kind of live. Go to your live TV thing and find. You're gonna find some nostalgic something on there, whether it's a
free
TV
crazy
show.
local stuff. There's hundreds of channels now.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like I found Nash Bridges. They were playing Nash Bridges
you sent me
on
that message.
on
I
live
watched
TV.
them because you sent me that.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think of it? Like,
yeah, no, it's because I knew about it, but like going back and like watching and thinking what he's saying and stuff. Yeah, no, yeah, it's
Isn't it interesting how when they were in
the Dutch angles, like I say,
that's what it's called, the tilted
Dutch angles, yeah.
Okay,
where it automatically gives you like
every time they were in the police station,
yeah.
Every time they were in the police station, it was that tilted angle I noticed. But then whenever they were away from there,
that's just use the observer, like. But
it was like
cool.
When they were away from there, it was different. But anytime they were in the station, it was that Dutch angle.
Yeah,
but I just thought it was great.
But
so
outside
my
of that,
recommendation,
the character is a fun. It's just a fun. It's just a good show. It's a fun action. I love that. I love Johnson's character in Cheats. Everyone's just great. It's just a golden, like, nice little nugget of action TV.
And there was a lot of cool cameos that pop up in it, and you're like, "What? Stone Cold Steve Austin?"
Yeah, I still remember watching that episode
live. We had it on VHS. We recorded it because we used to watch the show. So yeah, that's my thing. Go, because there's also I found out about a show I had no idea about, but I'm like, I love this show. It's so cheesy, but it was some of the stories are cool. Dark Realm.
Oh,
it has.
So yeah, no, I've skipped by it, but I haven't actually watched it.
Dark Realm. Let me
like
see
80s,
the actor. Yeah, it's like
it's British or American. So that become one with the dark people.
Dark Realm. 2001. It's only one season. It's only one season, but it's got Homeboy in it.
Jars of Clay.
No, he's like the host guy, Eric Roberts.
Oh, Julia Roberts' brother.
Yeah.
Kickboxer.
Dude. Yes.
American Ninja
kickboxer. Yeah.
Dude, it's like it's such a.
That's awesome.
It's only one season, but I'm like, dude, I'm all about this cheesy
That's awesome.
shit. So watch your local live TV and find something fun to watch.
Shout out Eric Roberts.
Shout out E-Rob.
I love this the celebrity like siblings where they have one's that like ultra mega star, and the other one is this like they're trying the same field.
No, it's not.
It's
Rod
almost
Stewart.
like both of my kids, both y'all can be actors.
What
Yay!
about Kevin Spacey?
What about
it's
with
Kevin Spacey and Kevin Spacey's brother is a Rod Stewart impersonator.
Oh, that's crazy.
I guess he wins.
What about?
It don't take much to beat out Kevin Spacey.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Maggie. Who was first? Because they were both Donnie Darko. Like, was
she's older, I believe.
So was Jake rode her coattails?
No, like he blew her out of the water.
Yeah.
Like she never. I mean, she's a real good actress. Actually,
Yeah.
she really is. But she's Jake Gyllenhaal's. I like him. I like. He's good.
Would you do Brokeback Mountain stuff with him? You say you like him.
I don't like him like that. I'd go camping with him, but
okay.
I would draw a hard line, buddy. I've got my own
Watch
tent.
out you say hard. Watch out.
Heath can go over there.
My fucking saddle blanket is.
But we can come out here and ride horses, be men without being men.
Ain't no wishing.
What if you went?
Fucker, I'm about to quit now.
What if you went back and
what are you
opened
doing?
your
Racing
tent?
for some nuts? That scary movie.
What if you went back to your tent and all of a sudden there was a giant spider up in the corner?
I beg,
Then
Dennis, what do you?
Yeah.
No, I thought you just say, what if you go back to your tent and he's pulling what's his name, and he's just naked in there, standing there. It's like,
oh, is this not cool? Seventh Heaven guy?
Yeah.
Seventh Heaven dude. We just can't be naked.
Yeah.
Can't just be naked out here.
Shout out, we're against sex crime.
We are very much so.
Yeah, you just set the tent on fire.
All right, Chris, you're up.
What?
Recommendation.
We're about to stop. Chris is about to be off the recommendation list.
Yeah, I'm done. What could I piggyback on?
Okay, I'm gonna give you some time to think here because I got to not vent for a second, but it's okay. It's something okay. I don't know, maybe, but it's like whenever we have random people onto my nephews or something, and you ask them a question it forces them to like have to think to come up with an answer, and they're like, oh, I don't know, I just don't know. It's like I feel like there's there's a skill, an evolutionary development skill, and not everyone gets to it. I think it's throughout life, and it comes down to actually just deciding to make a decision and choose something, regardless. That it's certain, you know, and it's fine people do it, but that's also it's like just literally choosing some tour. Like if he's, I don't even know. I'm sitting there looking at him, I see an Acer monitor. I'm like, get yourself an Acer monitor.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'm gonna at least get, you know.
Yeah, it's not
but
life or death, not a big deal.
But it's not. But at the same time, it is worth, like, if I can say some deeper, it's just my own, like, pet peeve of whatever, you know. Even, like, whenever we have some, like, she's on, we ask her questions, like, oh, I don't know. It's like, can you try?
Be careful who you give your time to.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
That is really good.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Should be careful.
No expanding on that.
It's the most valuable thing that you have, really.
Yeah.
Time is your most valuable asset.
It is. You waste a lot of it. So.
Basically.
Put me on the spot.
As I'm saying, how long can we, like, just
No,
waste time and stuff? No, but we will be seeing you.
As we say, be zang.
Be
boy,
zang.
Be zang.